Demons Pride end up finding points. They might decide. And with him going down, that's the end for Demons Pride. They wanted to rank up. They wanted to get eliminations. But it seems like Titan Esports Club, the worry at least on Kalahari will die down.
They have one more chance at least. Blessed by BRU. 17 eliminations and counting. Now it's the move to Foundation. At least to the western side of Foundation. You have Kororo planted right in the middle, but Falcons suffered some heavy damage. And in fact, Kororo is the only survivor, so they should be a non-factor if you are concerned about Team Falcons. TEC split up, which we did see, and Aurora on the radar as well. This is quite the clear path to push through. They have stragglers like members from TEC and Falcons to get a couple of free points. They could start with Rahat if they want.
Buriram now a little trouble because AGAL have started to fire. They've taken down the captain Jonah. On the other end, Aurora trying to hold off at the edge of the circle, but the circle will also start shifting as the zone is completely shrink. They'll only wait and try to see if they could spot somebody. In the meanwhile, at a distance, Boltmaker being spotted. That's going to be EVOS fighting for elimination. And EVOS, we spoke about them. They had the advantage inside the circle. They laid their foundation, but unfortunately, the circle did not allow it. It forced them. Abax will still be able to find Takure is out. And now on Buriram as well, EVOS still firing, finding elimination and also helping out AGAL in the mix.
And again, for the third game in a row, the circle forces everyone to go into the open as the ultimate test. AGAL on your screens, 11 eliminations, and the second one could be confirmed if they remove Ray, but Ray gets picked back up. Cypher instantly with a double up and putting immense pressure on the EVOS Divine, forcing those blue walls out. Rasha has already ran out of that. Defenses dwindling for EVOS. AGAL continuously displaying lead at them. Abax needs some help. AGAL finds another one.
Everybody needs help right now, even DRS. Falcons, the last man, Kororo gets taken down. That's the end for them. Aurora now trying to climb up, but it's going to be difficult. They don't have any vision above, no information, so running up is going to be difficult. And finally, EVOS do not allow that. With Axel going down, a lot more trouble strikes Aurora. And now EVOS also deciding to send off in the other direction because the zone is not in their favor. But before that, they will have to clear a position. They spotted two different teams, but they're only spotting the players. They don't know it's two different teams. And Titan Esports Club, that's going to be Blade getting taken down. Cypher from AGAL helping out in the mix. Azriel trying to back off, join his teammates. AGL in the mix, making sure that EVOS don't survive. A rush up. He puts Azriel down, confirms, but it's going to be DRS stealing it away. Knocks from somebody, eliminations from somebody. But who is winning it? It is AGL with EVOS together that smash DRS out.
And Joan just didn't know where to look. And that ends out in his death. Due another sniper with an aim gun. And finally, the Wonder Kid has had enough. He comes back, shoots Dew down, and EVOS have a good chance. 4v3, they have the weaponry. Raiders get dropped by Nameless, and they make it even. Aim God down in health, Abax is down. Nameless putting everything into his hands, and he might be the one that drags them across the finishing line. Nameless with the support, Aim God now all alone. Barros is there by his side, and Cypher with the final nail in the coffin. 20 eliminations, AGAL books the second booyah.
Second booyah of the day, and AGAL are making sure they seal the deal in the top 4. Do not give the chance, especially with these top teams already taking away the points. It's getting very dicey down there for teams at the bottom. They don't know what they have to figure out. Match number 9 is done. 10, 11, 12, 3 more games to go. And at the end of it, keys are going to get crushed, meaning your opportunities here in EWC 2026 in Paris, at least with this season, is done.
Almost done. We are about to close the chapter on 2 of these boats. The halfway point being crossed means that pressure starts to set in for the teams at the bottom, potentially in the red zone. But I gotta say, EVOS, sure, no booyah, but they held on for so long. In the battle of attrition, they were on the losing side, and this was the spirit that got them that trophy lift last year, and we're seeing it on display again. Despite no booyah, they still, I think, walk away with a win.
Yeah, and somehow they've always been balancing themselves against Falcons, because Falcons, as long as they survive, they have a chance in the top 4, and EVOs could be pushed down and they would have to move to the survival stage. And I think somehow they haven't read about it. The White Tigers are able to find their way through and they are still keeping themselves afloat in the top 4. However, AGAL, I think we spoke about this, looking forward to placement points, looking forward to Booyah is what you have to ideate, especially as you make it to the champion rush.
Yeah. Let's listen to what AGL has to say.
มาดิงานสลิงงานปีน
ตายหมดตัวเพื่อน
โอ้ยเฮียกูยิงอย่างเวอร์ไอ้สัตว์ฉะนั้น
ผม
ไอ้บ้า
Cool, calm, collected. It's a bit of a stretch of the arms. Just another day in the office for AGL.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they were very hasty or there was a lot of rapid comms, if I could say it.
Yeah, it's
Cool,
just
calm,
like
connected.
Oh, we get the booyah.
Yeah, you do this. There's a man here. That's about it. That's I think the basic understanding we got.
I think so too. I mean, these boys have been together for quite a long
That's true.
time. Took a while to kind of assemble. Well, it didn't take that long to assemble the squad, but it took a while to really build that chemistry. It's paying off. I mean, 32 points is a dream to even hit 30 points in a single round.
Yeah.
Usually these are the sort of the deal breakers. This is what decides who wins the championship or who gets ahead of the curve. AGAL, they come in with 32, but we did talk about EVO's 27 points. Not too shabby. BRU, 26. The front runners are still there.
Opportunities for everybody. On the other end, if you look at the bottom page, Demon Sprite, they did have a little bit of a lift off, 7 total points, 4 elimination. Loud Sneakers, their opportunities are getting pushed out by some of the teams. The fights, especially between Falcons as well as EVOs, is troubling them and they're getting eliminated a little too early. However, one thing that we've been talking about, right? Thailand taking away the trophy, even on the world stages, even here on EWC, even Indonesian teams now rising up the ranks. But AGL, they've been winning in the region. They want to get a big trophy, a global one. Can they do it? Looking at how now they've built up on day 2, there is a storyline that could be written.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at the players, and I think even Gun Dynasty are starting to feel the heat, right? Again, 3 rounds in a row. This was a team that came in hot. They were tailing behind BRU. We talk about if we put placement points aside, technically Gun Dynasty is the better team compared to BRU because they have no booyahs compared to the 3 that BRU has. But I think right now we have a bigger problem, a bigger question for them, right?
Yeah.
Is day 1 it? Is that it? 'Cause we got 3 more games coming up.
Yeah. I hope Gun Dynasty change their approach because they still have a chance. With 3 more games left here for Group A, there's an opportunity, but looking at how these teams are fighting, right, especially the Southeast Asian teams, they are going all guns blazing. They're looking unstoppable and they're not giving points to anybody to even approach for. And that is unfortunately not giving them an opportunity to look forward to a lot more. However, opportunities right across this breather for everybody.
Barney and Ludi, we accept your challenge here in Kadia City at the Golf Predetermined Tournament. Lace and glitter. We are going to challenge you and beat your score, but not without a prize.
Yeah, you know, it feels like it might be a little bit rigged in favor for Barney, but I really want the prize Lace is talking about because we are going to get an EWC 2026 custom printed t-shirt with our name on it, or the name of the winner, really, you know. So that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, and we want to win because we love competition. So let's fire away, Glitter. Come on, stand over here. Get the position down. We have to beat these boys. All right, looking great. Play golf. Ready? Okay, 9, 8, 7, 6. Don't be nervous. 5, 4, 3, 2. Got to beat the boys. All right, she's got some incredible form here, and all she needs to do is aim for the flag. Not too much power in the positioning here, but it looks like it's going directly there. A fair bit of power behind it. This looks like a good one. Okay, I'm actually pretty proud of that.
good. That does put me above Barney. Lace, I know you can do the same. It does help to limber up a bit, you know? And the tips that I found is, you know, just ignore the audience, okay? Yep, not too much power, not too little power. Just the right amount. Yeah. Keep your eye on the ball. Envision it going towards the pin. You can do this, Lace. We gotta show the boys. Oh, it's looking good. No, it's okay. It's getting close. Rolling in. Oh, you did beat Ludi. You did beat Ludi, though, to be fair. Not too shabby, Lace.
I mean, look, as long as we beat them, that's fine. But of course, we want to challenge our next people. We're looking at you, Seven and Neptune. Are you up for the challenge?
We're definitely up for that challenge. Don't you worry, we'll be able to beat the scores that you guys were able to beat. But one team that's currently challenging everybody is none other than AG, because my gosh, this squad has now gotten 2 booyahs. They might be going for that third one, but the rotations that they were able to do were great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're focusing on the South Stay, making sure that it is clear out of the area, and even contending off those rotation if someone will be coming in. And one thing that they did, especially in the previous game, is in the 5th circle, the moment that it counts down the 5th circle closing in, they triggered that bolt maker, the lightning zone. So it's a threat to everyone and also damage them. So with all those damage, they can also spot out the opponent, and it gives them more of a leeway so that they will not be rushed in. So smart move coming from AJAL so that they can get that booyah.
I love that we have one of the best analysts here for Free Fire, none other than Neptune, being able to break down all the rotations, the skills in the game. How about we break down that booyah curse? Because Tag ended up being affected by that one. Hopefully AG is not going to be affected by it here coming up.
I guess there's a lot of things that they need to change right now, and just to get away from that booyah curse.
Let's hope that that's going to be the case. Lucifer, Husky, do you think AL is going to be affected by the booyah curse or no?
I don't think so. There is a chance that they want a title. We've been talking about their counterparts, right? They've been taking these titles, the global ones, the world stages, and AGAL have always been getting closer, have been getting the hashtag 2s, but finally is this the stage? Esports World Cup 2026, all gamers global, actually go global.
I mean, I would say they are already global, but it's about cementing themselves on that stage. Funnily enough, the first and only world trophy, global trophy that they have was under the category of Clash Squad.
Exactly.
But we know the motherlode, the holy grail is Battle Royale. That's where the spirit of Free Fire is initially sold from the start of time. And I think for AGAL, very good chance. Cypher now second in terms of most eliminations. Still tailing behind the Wonder Kid, who is in first place, but slow taking Trap, who unfortunately was wiped out pretty early on. But we still cannot look past the fact that snipers are pretty important. Top 3 most damage are all in the sniper role.
As we head to Purgatory, it seems like the flight path had its own course of mind, completely southern favored. However, still teams managed to make their way around the fields, but the fight already breaks out just because of how unfavorable the flight path was. Loud are trying to answer back to Falcons. It's been an exchange. Trap will be able to get back next. So 2 eliminations for Falcons. And on the other end, we did end up seeing fights that Falcon want to now stand tall on against Loud. And Loud, with those eliminations, they managed to grab on one. Can they find more? Gun Dynasty, they're against Demon's Pride. But as we see the feed as well, it seems like Team Apex Gaming are now, they're breaking their own curse. They found an opening against Aurora.
Yeah, I want to see the earlier pep talk just now is going to bring some breeze on life in the GD. So far, doesn't seem to be the case. Demon's Pride standing tall. But there is response. Benel, yesterday he stepped up, and now he is stepping up finally after the halfway point. David with a great follow-up. Exactly what Gun Dynasty needs.
And with Gun Dynasty back in a play like this, there's an opportunity that they stand a chance to get back to the top 4. A lot more competition getting spiced up just for that position to the final. Demon's Pride, they want to be a part of it, but they're getting hit upon, they're getting taken down, their exchanges are not working their way, they're unable to find much, but still, even though the last player is surviving, they managed to get 3. But we spoke about this earlier, a replay where Falcons and Loud were exchanging blows one after another. And I can see, it seems like Loud did manage to get one elimination. However, Falcons had a better of it, get a total of 4.
Yep. We even saw Paradox Gaming having a pep talk as well during the intermission. And I think the expressions has changed, right? We look back at some of the player reactions after round 3. Reality is starting to set in that this could be the third last game for some of them, and certainly going to be an early exit for Aurora Gaming. Twice today.
Yeah.
Out of 4 matches, 2 of them is Aurora Gaming being the first one to leave.
Aurora, yes, they don't look super dicey on points, that they will be pushed out and their key being crushed. They should make it to the survival stage, but they not better their chances and let it to the fate of other teams' performance. AGL on the other end, I think, as you already mentioned, we were speaking about it. It is Battle Royale that they have to get their hands on a trophy, a title. But Gun Dynasty's Benel, this player was a beast yesterday, and today finally, now in this game, gets to elimination. He did get the information across to Shairu, who's now stuck at Ski Lodge. And AGAL seemed to be just chasing that one player who got stuck here, and Shairu will just try and buy time. There's nothing else that he can do. That's just one elimination that AGAL will be able to get. But on the other end, it seems like instantly the feed gets lit up loud. Gosha finds one elimination. Evo's getting troubled in this action. And now they're also rushing closer. Nyx moving in the right direction, but there's also Falcons in the mix.
AimGod actually taking a lot of heat as well. AimGod does bring the Wonder Kid back, but Limit will take out Ray. Once more, brought back by the captain of EVOS. This is what we've seen, at least at the Esports World Cup. EVOS willing to send the Wonder Kid out on an expedition, and he holds himself pretty well. Trap actually getting removed, so the attention onto EVOS now, diverted onto Falcons. AimGod tried to take advantage of that, but Pina was ready. Receives the hit, gets another elimination for his own. Apex now committed, comes in, but on fire, lying in wait with Limit.
That flash freeze almost looked like he would be able to find 2. Abax, nice try over there, but quick recovery coming in from Limit. And even Neptune mentioned we have to see Limit X7 performing. Snipers have been the recent meta, and he has to step up for the team. We've not seen the best coming in from his end yet. And maybe Falcons rise up to that occasion. Even Yunsul, we saw her talking to the Falcons, and it seems like it's not yet working. Kerora, who was about to just land on the roof, will be instantly shut down.
Oh, Russia trying to play some mind games there with the vehicle, but not going to work on Nyx. One of the top stars as well from Brazil. Him and Traps, in fact. That being said, we did see a bit of a stat there, but now 4 revives so far this game. Being the field medic and making sure that his team continuously stays alive in this match. It's a good chance that they run into Loud Snickers. We'll have to see if GD have found something within them. So far, I mean, haven't really gotten much done this game. And we saw them get up to a good start, 3 eliminations, that's pretty much it. Now we need to see that conversion. We gotta go further. Disappointment and stress on Aurora Gaming's players' face too. One of the toughest part, honestly, sitting through the entire lobby if you exit early.
But right now, when you talk about exits, it's been Paradox who've been suffering eliminations. They've been getting pushed out of every game. And Denrique, he's now getting chased by Barros. Spotted, launcher boot out, and instantly Denrique, he thought it's going to be the launcher, but it's going to be Dew on the other end. And we said the sharpshooter Dew today, he's been phenomenal. 2 eliminations of his own, and Paradox, everybody who are around the moat house will be forced off. Thankfully, it's not a wipe. They had a teammate across who will bring the whole squad back.
Second win in this game. GD very split up. So far the circle has been ruthless, very merciless today. It seems like it's going to continue to be the case. Brings us to north of Brasilia, and with Fuse as center point. AGAL now takes on TEC. Blade snapped in half. Rajat down to 10%, bleeding out as well. Knockdown is still with the delivery system, and this time up close and personal.
Kurush trying to make a run from this, but he's walking right towards Team Apex Gaming. It's going to be difficult. Last man standing. If he doesn't survive this, it's going to be an end for Titan Esports Club. Their chase towards making it towards the finals if there is an opportunity, it has to be the survival stage. And somehow Kutush, in terms of his maneuvering, he's been able to cross between both Team Apex Gaming as well as All Gamers Global and survive for the time being.
Gotta play for placements now. Kutush calming with the rest of his team. He does have coins. Now he needs that vending machine. Purgatory is one of the bigger maps we have. And that makes it very, very hard to navigate with no vehicles. And we're out alone in the cold. And to make things worse, AGAL still prowling nearby. When we look at the rotations, EVOS Esports, the very bottom. BRU still holding on to Quarry and Marble Works, which is their favorite spot on the western side of the map. The favorite drop spot, in fact. We should expect a rotation through Marble Works in just a little bit as Limit picks up Nyx again.
During rotations, even Gun Dynasty right now, they picked up a total of 7 eliminations. Benel, while we saw him being the medic, he's also managed to get 5 eliminations of his own. That's how brilliant he is. And what a play coming in from Rahat here. A quick replay for Titan Esports Club, a quick drive-by, putting the player out, getting an extra elimination. Gun Dynasty, they have to find a lot more as such, as we just witnessed. But on the other end, it seems like Team Apex Gaming were about to go for a fight, but they're stuck in between two teams. On one NVC, DRS, on the other, that's Demon's Pride. So it's a sandwich situation. They have to get out of it very soon.
I think Paradox also switching it up. This is one of the few games that they are able to really not get into any altercations early on, which is something that they've been trying to avoid. DRS in the crosshairs of David. The anti shots gotta be good. Gotta hit harder, gotta be a bit more sharper. Missed opportunity there for Gun Dynasty. But now having 6 out of the 8 eliminations for the team. TEC gets full revive. I think Gun Dynasty's next target is gonna be on DRS.
Look at this quick switch that they did. Went to the drop and then they told what was available and sent Benel out there to quickly grab and make their way back. Gun Dynasty seems like communication in this game is coming into play. The precision as well with Benel performing in such a manner. However, everybody is clustering right now. It's only one team who are out here in Purgatory. 11 still surviving. 10 minutes about to be on the clock. And even Falcons are entering into the close compounds. It's a lot of teams clustering one after another. And we'll also soon see a circle shift. Does it favor any of the teams? It does. To those 3 teams we earlier pointed, the sandwich situation. DRS, Team Apex Gaming, and Demon's Pride.
Even Gun Dynasty has a very good chance. In fact, I think TAG are in the toughest spot in the center. We just see a knockdown early on. Recovery shouldn't be an issue. BRU now see moving to TEC off screen. But I think even for DRS, they have a very good chance of holding back not just Gun Dynasty, causing some damage to Falcons and EVOS if the rotation is right.
So crucial rotations as we are getting closer to the last few games of Group A. Everybody's trying to bite time. Everybody's trying to bite their own play. Figure out what's the best approach. While we all were thinking at the start of the day, hey, top 4 teams, they will be safe and sound. They do not have to be worried about. They're slowly trying to get worried. Except for Buriram as well as All Gamers Global.
Yeah, those two, I think, without a shadow of doubt, have already qualified for Saturday. But then they still want more. Can never get enough points. AGAL, double digits. 11, counting. Dinoculus used scan towards the southeastern side. Or at least the north side of fields. Should be able to rotate there. There's a small compound to work with, but better yet, high ground advantage that puts them within range of proximity of Paradox Gaming. And I think the second Dinoculus have confirmed that. There is Falcons there though.
And Falcons are already busy in a fight. That's going to be against Paradox. Windy already down, Sneaky trying to fend off. It doesn't work. He'll also be taken down. One last player. He is closer to the vending machine and he'll quickly strike the revive button. And Drendrike will be brought back. Snipe. With that happening, Falcons have an idea of where he is, and Snipe will be sniped out by Limit X7. Nice shot. And that's going to be the 5th elimination for Limit. And this is what Falcons needed. Every sniper out there performing, Limit had to do it.
One of the rising stars a couple years ago. And since then, we know that Limit is special. Look at that. 2 more. No confirmation just yet. No utility dump. More than enough to cause a lot of issues there. Pressure onto AGAL. Can they continue to deliver? Pina now getting pushed. Sci-Fi in the forefront. Let's have the Cassie helping out. Meanwhile, full team on the Gun Dynasty as Trap launches a quad nade. But the pressure now mounts onto Limit. As attention shift, Limit knocked down. And AGAL breaks the spine and the anchor of Falcons, and that should be it. AGAL once more coming out on top of this exchange.
They always do it. You give them a small inch, they take the whole ground. And Falcons, who are ahead of it, playing outside the zone, get hit upon it. Their sniper gets taken down with the damage on the zone itself, and All Gamers Global quickly act on it. Kiroro, can he do something different? The last one, and it's going to be Cypher showing his own precision skills. And with that, Falcons are out.
There's a possibility for a third Booyah with how things are going for AGAL. BRU hasn't really shown much action yet, much activity. Only one elimination so far.
Yeah.
As we're down to the last 8 teams. Paradox Gaming, Enrique perishes to the blue. Barrow's actually getting knocked down by the play zone, same as Cypher. Nameless, can he get out of this one? DRS getting some free pickings. A hefty price to pay for AGAL.
Yeah, playing it outside the zone, we've always talked about it. We thought ATL were ahead of it. They knew what was about to happen. But DRS, they came in as a surprise. The real soldiers, they want their opportunity. As Titan Esports Club are trying to close the distance, they do not want to give it away. Now they have another challenge that's going to be loud. If they're able to secure some more points, they will not get pushed off by Titan Esports Club because they're still surviving. Look at Trap making a jump, and that distraction works out. VZP with the AC-80 finds an opening. Now Trap with the Winchester from afar, already shooting bullets. And there is Nyx with the Max 7 and VZP with the M590 pumping bullets. Pratik and Stroix trying to hold the ground for the time being. And Takure, he has to help out. 2 of the Loud players are down. Trap is too far away, outside the zone, damage being done. Gosha has to be the savior here. Pratik gets confirmations, but the sniper is not going to help out as Trap is also taken down.
And Guaksha, can he make that clutch happen? That's going to be 1. 2 more to go, cutting down the ranks, find the isolations. Guaksha again, down to just 50 HP. Takuri around the corner, secures it. DRS lives on.
You have to give it to Stroix over there. The way he was able to hold at the edge of the circle. And DRS still keep fighting, taking Loud out. Evo's on the other end, the 1K, the last man standing. And at this point, there's no opportunity. Boltmaker as well. Stealth fights for how long, though? Oh no, Buriram. The team who just held their front, get some points. They find them out. And that is DRS out, and Russia, his position revealed, and Team Apex Gaming, they get that elimination, make it to the top 3.
TAG have another chance, but guess who else has? Demon's Pride. Pakistan on the radar. Right into the dens of BRU. With some help from TAG, they might be able to get it done, and BRU now facing a 4v8 odds. Jonah good on the 1. Jazzy knocks down. Wasana ready for the rush. Madara shot down as well. And the attention paid on DP by BRU would be the undoing. But guess what, Lucifer? TAG have a chance again.
Once more, Shoto with the dash. Wasana is down. Kenny gone. He finds it, and that's a second for Team Apex Gaming. They get the second for India. A booyah!
And it pays forward. Once was not enough. They joined AGAL on that leaderboard for the second booyah. And I think at this point in time, Lucifer, guaranteed survival round. Guaranteed a second life.
They needed this. This is what was in the making for TAG. Team Apex Gaming, the champs from India. They did lift the trophy in India, and now it's time they get closer towards an international stage trophy, and getting 2 booyahs in a single day is not an easy job at all.
Years of wishing to have a slot, and in the first year, the debut on the biggest stage ever, they lock into. And it means just much more just for TAG, for the region itself. I think after today, or after we depart from Paris, they are going to be an inspiration for the rest of India. But final sequences again, TAG, opportunistic in their pursuit of glory, with a little bit of a help from DP, but overall TAG, impressive finisher.
डेढ़ सौ ये तो इजी भूया था इजी भूया यार इजी था
Just like we spoke about AGL, right? Cool, calm and composed. And that's what Team Apex Gaming do here. It didn't look like they were rattled by it. They clearly positioned themselves ahead of the game. And as you can see, they said, this was a booyah written for us.
Yep. Easy booyah, in the words of the players.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I mean, again, they were, it's either BRU get their fourth in the group stage, either that or Pakistan gets their first at the hands of Demon's Pride, or TAG getting a second, and we know which one is written in stone. I mean, if you are BRU, what are you worried about, right? I mean, you're doing great regardless. But with that being said, I'm sure that some of the players have something to say, and we have one prepared with Nyx.
Are we in? Are we live? I believe we're live. I'm not hearing anything, but I'm going to take it. How's it going, everyone? We're back on the main stage. We do, of course, have Nyx here joining us from Loud Snickers. My name's Barney Banks. I've got Carol Bombshell joining us here. We're going to ask some questions. Nyx, let's kick things off. Let's talk about strategy, okay? Because yesterday, it seemed like the gameplay was very slightly different. Today, you seem like you're getting a bit more aggressive. Eliminations are coming in. Was that the plan, or is that just the way that the games have gone today?
Falando um pouco sobre estratégias, a gente viu que ontem vocês começaram muito agressivos, muitas eliminações. E esse era o plano desde o início? Vocês queriam começar nesse estilo mais agressivo?
Não, a gente foi mais um improviso, mais oportunidades que a gente via na hora. O nosso estilo de jogo é mais centralizado e acaba que os times que estão ao nosso redor, no trap de lança, pá, assim, pô, fica mais fácil também, né?
Well, that was not the plan at the beginning. Yeah, we had to improvise. We took opportunities. So we see the teams during rotation. So we just took opportunities. Yes, we used the right guns, and our coach and our team captain just gave us the call, and then we did it, the aggressive game style. Okay, Nyx, so would you consider your group, the group of death that we like to call, consider that including the reign champions, Evils, even Team Falcons, Buriram, does having all these strongest teams in the same group make it the toughest team in the tournament so far? Tendo times, você considera o seu grupo, o grupo da morte, levando em consideração que tem os atuais campeões, o time da Evils, tem também Team Falcons que venceu no primeiro ano, tem uma Buriram também. Você acha que tendo esses times que são fortes, faz o grupo de vocês serem um grupo da morte?
Eu acredito que sim, porque se não fosse por isso, não seria campeões mundiais, né? São times que são muito bons em endgame e acaba que no endgame esses times que são muito bons dá uma dificuldade assim. Eu acho que o nosso grupo é o da morte, mas a gente também somos bons, né? À toa que estamos aí distante do top 5, se eu não me engano.
Yeah, definitely we consider these teams the group of that. Of course, we are among the strongest teams here so far, and having like the reigning champions and also Team Falcons who won EWC 2024 definitely make this group the strongest so far, especially because we have all this kind of teams here from Thailand, Indonesia, but also we are not behind them because we reached the top 5.
You're definitely not. You're performing incredibly well so far, and obviously a few more games to go to close out the group stage for you guys. Now, I want you to cast your mind back, because playing regionally before you got here onto the global stage, you guys are playing incredibly well in Brazil. So I just want to know, did that boost your confidence coming into EWC, knowing that in the later stages of this tournament, you're likely to face off against some of your Brazilian rivals?
Bom, chegar aqui como os campeões, né, do Campeonato Brasileiro faz com que vocês consigam chegar aqui nesse momento mais fortes, vocês consigam jogar um pouco mais parelho. Você acha que essa confiança de fato veio junto com vocês?
Sim, com certeza. Não tem nada melhor que sermos campeões, principalmente dos campeonatos oficiais que teve no Brasil, que é o FFWS e o Clash Masters. Acaba que sim, a gente chega muito confiante porque, querendo ou não, a gente acredita, o nosso time em si, que Free Fire é bastante confiança. Tanto é que no dia de hoje a gente teve algumas quedas muito boas justamente por causa da confiança. Vinha time, nós chegava, matava, oportunidade, matava. Isso, querendo ou não, eleva o astral do time dentro das partidas e acaba que sim.
Well, definitely arriving here at the EWC 26 as Brazilian champions definitely give us a lot of confidence. So we arrive here knowing that playing Free Fire, we need to be confident here. So with our team, we had really good talks, really good chemistry, and we team up, and that's the results. The results don't lie. Perfect. Next, for us to finish our interview, one more question. Your country mates performed well in Group B last night. How are you feeling about Fluxo and Lo's performance yesterday? I forgot to translate. That's okay, that's happened all the time. Nix, você viu, né, as partidas dos jogos de ontem, né, do Fluxo e do time da Los. Como é que você se sente vendo os times brasileiros também indo bem por aqui?
Cara, eu fico muito feliz, mesmo sendo rivais no Brasil, a gente ainda continua sendo brasileiro. Eu sempre torço pelo melhor do time da Lua, dos moleques do Fluxo também. Eu fico muito feliz de ver. Eu não gosto, sendo bem sincero, eu não gosto desse gringo não, mas só dos brasileiros só.
That was a good answer. You're gonna like this. Okay, for sure, I'm really happy for Fluxo and Los because we are all from Brazil. And of course, we want Brazil on the top. It doesn't matter. And especially because I don't like these other teams here. I don't like the other regions. So yes, Brazil on the top for sure. Okay, thanks so much for the interview. Good luck in the next matches. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And we are back in the studio. You are back in the studio.
Bonjour, it's Yunsu, and right here I'm at our co-streamer place. Once again, we're meeting our famous character, Background, and of course, our super fan from Team Secret, Cyrus. Xin chào tất cả mọi người, thì hôm nay cũng là ngày thi đấu thứ hai của Free Fire EWC 26 rồi. Thì không biết là mình nói về ngày hôm qua một chút đi. WEG cũng như là Team Secret đã có cho mình một cái ngày thi đấu khá là ổn khi mà có được một booyah và cũng như là một cái số điểm tương đối để có thể tiếp tục trong ngày thi đấu hôm nay. Thì Background có suy nghĩ gì về ngày thi đấu hôm qua của Team Secret ạ?
Chào tất cả mọi người. Thì nếu mà nói về ngày thi đấu của Secret WG ngày hôm qua thì bản thân mình thấy là chưa ổn vô lắm các bạn. Hôm nay sẽ là ngày thi đấu quyết định của Secret WG. Các bạn biết là một ngày thi đấu, sau 2 ngày thi đấu thì chúng ta chỉ lấy 2 đội thôi, 4 đội thôi. Và hôm nay buộc Secret WG phải thi đấu hết sức có thể để ghi tên mình vào trận chung kết.
Không biết là Cyrus thì cảm thấy như thế nào ta?
Thì em nghĩ hôm nay WG phải bắn hết mình để lọt top 4 vào chung kết. Tại vì thà vào top 4 ngày hôm nay chứ ngày mai thì em thấy là khá là căng đấy. Căng hơn hôm nay rất là nhiều.
So as we can see from yesterday, WEG from Background said he doesn't feel that good, that well about Team Secret since they are doing just only a decent ranking in our group stage A, of course, but overall, he said that in today, we have to try our best, especially get into the top 4 as soon as possible. If not, getting into the group tomorrow would be a criminal to them. You know, it's going to be very difficult, very hard for them to compete. And of course, for our old teammates, here's Cyrus, our old teammates of Team Secret, also having the same discuss with Background that they have to try their best in order to get into top 4. Today is a very important day for everyone, both in Group A and Group B. We all must get into the top 4 if they don't want to be left behind. Of course, if you're not getting into top 4, you're still having chances. But if you're at ranking 11 and 12, boom, you are out, not being available into the game anymore. So, as we can see in the chats, ở đây thì em thấy là mọi người có vẻ như là tương tác rất là nhiều. Thì không biết là phần lớn, bác con nghĩ như thế nào là mọi người sẽ thường nhắc đến chủ đề gì ở trong cái phần chat của comment mình ạ?
Ở trong cái phần chat comment của mình khi mình coi stream thì tất cả mọi người đều tập trung về Secret WG cả, và ủng hộ cho một đại diện duy nhất của Free Fire Việt Nam. Tất cả mọi người đều muốn rằng một kết quả thật là tốt trong cái buổi thi đấu quyết định ngày hôm nay của Secret WG.
Vâng ạ, và nghe kết quả có vẻ rất là khả quan và cũng như là tinh thần của người dân Việt Nam mình rất là đoàn kết với nhau. Thì em cũng không biết là em muốn hỏi là thường những cái buổi livestream mà nó mang tính chất quan trọng như thế này thì bác Gáo sẽ ngồi xem cùng với bao nhiêu người ở trên livestream của mình vậy ạ?
Thật ra là vào những cái buổi livestream quan trọng như thế này thì xưa giờ mình chỉ xem một mình thôi. Nhưng hôm nay thì có cậu em Cyrus của mình đi theo thì tất nhiên là có cậu ấy.
So normally in the chat, especially in those important occasions like this, everyone in Vietnam, because we are having only one representative from Vietnam, especially for the Free Fire World Series Vietnam. Here is Team Secret, or as known as WAG. They are trying their best to support for the favorite team. Overall, as you can see, normally Becca will only sit and watch the live stream alone, but today, of course, he has a very special company, whom is Cyrus. And overall, I can see normal his number is very impressive, because for your information, Becca is one of the most famous Free Fire streamer in Vietnam. Normally, as I can see, he will have around like 10k or 20k viewers at the same time watching the live stream with him and support the best for Team Secret or any Vietnam representative in the game and everyone in the game as well. So it's a very pleasure for everyone to be here with me so we can enjoy this very amazing atmosphere right here at EWC 26. Cảm ơn Becca rất là nhiều. Vậy thì không biết là anh có lời nào cuối cùng muốn gửi đến cho tất cả các bạn khán giả tại Việt Nam cũng như là Team Secret của mình tại sân khấu không ạ?
Mình mong rằng tất cả các bạn đang coi livestream ở trên toàn các kênh sóng của Free Việt Nam sẽ cổ vũ hết mình cho series WG và đồng hành cùng họ hành trình này nha.
So here's one last thing I want to send to the viewers. Please continue to support for Team Secret and of course to all of the rest team at EWC 26 Free Fire at this time. Thank you so much for your cooperation in this interview and we will catch you guys later.
Seven, the camera's on. Seven, wake up, Seven!
Sorry about that. I was having deja vu. I was dreaming that AG and Tag won again. They did! They actually ended up doing it again.
It actually happened! It's not your dream!
Especially Tag getting off that booyah curse that we saw earlier from them. I mean, this squad has finally been able to step up considering that some of those top teams have been slowing down. And I'm looking at Falcons and Gun Dynasty.
Well, it's really getting tough right now for Gun Dynasty because it seems like the 3 games, it's something, there's a lot more that they can do right now, but I think they might be able to catch up on the second half, but we'll have to find out though if they'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, Gun Dynasty in Groups Day 1, they actually have a 12.8 elimination average and 4.75 for placements. And guess what they've dropped down to for these matches? 1 for elimination and 3 for placement.
Ooh.
That is quite a significant sort of jump from yesterday's performance for Gun Dynasty. And then who is trailing on their tails? Team Falcons. And I mean, I did sort of touch on this at the earlier stages. They needed to have a little bit more of eliminations under their belt to be able to push themselves up into that top 4. And with their track record right now, I mean, they're doing it. Although they sort of fell out in 8th place in that last match, they did have about 14 eliminations as well. So this is like the consistency and the massive advance that Falcons needed to be able to keep themselves out of that survival stage.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, hopefully they keep up that consistency because there was one time where Team Falcons was hunted by Aurora Gaming. And it's tough. All right. Hopefully that doesn't affect Aurora Gaming.
You just have to talk about Aurora Gaming somehow.
I said I won't be saying the name once again. Anyways, Aurora Gaming was just like eliminated as he's trying to go for a revive. It's just unfortunate. They have to stay outside of the zone. Aurora Gaming can soak up full squad, and then the moment that one by one Team Falcons going for those revives, Aurora Gaming is just capitalizing and shooting them down.
But this is exactly what we expect to see from the EWC, right?
Yep.
Apex, they weren't so great yesterday, but today, 17 elimination points in just 1 game. That is so amazing. AGAL, 16 elimination points. It shows that the team that weren't performing so well yesterday are finally feeling the pressure, and being under that pressure lit the fire under their bottoms. So yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing today.
Neptune gave him a nickname, Taggle. Because it's Tag and AGL just winning. We came up with Taggle.
And
that's
these
all we got.
are the improvements that we need to see, and we wanted to see from them.
And we got to see those improvements because they might be listening to us. If I'm being completely honest. Lucifer, yesterday, he was able to say Tag is going to wake up in the second day. Lucifer, I see what you were doing. I'm wondering if you maybe went and told me, okay, you really need to make sure you wake up in the second day. I'm putting my credibility on this. But another squad that has been able to maybe listen to some of the stuff that we've been talking about has been none other than AG.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from earlier, we were talking about how well they are holding the south side of each circle, how they go rotation is just keeping them safe. And in the previous round, we saw them in the north. So the same strategy that they were able to pull off. And one thing is, like, even if you make that adjustment, it's not easy. But good thing that they have good snipers, good information getters, as well as those frontliners who keep those paths safe for them. So the rotation, either way, south or north, east or west, it doesn't matter for AGAL.
Well, let's take a look at that overall ranking because we will have only 2 matches left of Group A. Buram, congratulations, you had passed the 200-point mark. I think it's safe to say that all these 4 squads might end up going to the finals unless we see an absolute just crush of emotions, and Team Falcons doing amazing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, seeing how AGAL right now has collected 199 points, we all know that AGAL is one of the strongest when it comes to Southeast Asia, but when it comes to the EWC, this is actually quite a surprise. I mean, Loud, EFOS, you guys better get focused, okay? Because what the hell is happening right now? I mean, even Team Falcons is trying to pick themselves up, even though it's not, maybe it's not working as much as they wanted it to be.
Yeah, and if we have a look at this, like, so we've been talking about the AGAL and their consistency is still shining through. Barium United as well. If we look at Loud, like Loud up to about 8 matches had 10.8 elims average with 9 placement, which is probably our top team that is focusing on those rotations. So it looks like that's not really going to the case for them going into these games. So like you said, Loud, gotta keep your wits about you because Team Falcons are sort of solidifying that path into performing with the elims and also the placement points. So this is something where Loud needs to keep on their toes for.
Now, not only for those top 4 teams going to the finals, the bottom 2 teams will end up going home. With those 2 games left, I see Demon Sprite finally being able to climb up. They're 9 points away from Titan and Paradox as well. Possibly, we could see another shift here on the leaderboard, Neptune.
We'll have to fight. Let's see, though, because even against AGAL, they're struggling. Earlier, I thought that Titan Esports Club will be able to bring a fight against AGAL, but with Katush, the only one remaining in this point, on 1 point in that game, it was hard. It was difficult. Even with the Moors, he couldn't use that stealth bite to get away. He couldn't be stealthy enough to pull away from that engagement.
Yeah, I was just concerned about DP or Demons because all I'm seeing is that terrible calls after terrible calls. And it's like, it's not even about the bad strategy, it's positioning as well. So I'm really racking my brain to like, how can we help them? How can we make them feel more comfortable and at least try to do something more? Because it's just sad to see at this point, honestly.
Some of those teams that were supposed to be listening to us aren't listening to us. And the ones that are currently secure in the finals, for some reason, they're listening to us. I talked about this team earlier, actually, and it's none other than Loud. We were talking about positionings with what AG has been able to do. Loud, I feel like this top teams might be using this last couple of games to try something different because we didn't see Loud in the middle of the circle this summer.
Yeah, I mean, they took the position of AGAL on the south side, outside of the circle, so it's a good strategy as well, like halfway through. If you will be read out by the other teams, you will be anticipated by the other teams as well. So you will have to switch it up. You have to change your approach. Otherwise, you'll be targeted so much. And you did mention how critical it is for the top 4, or for them to get in the top 4 and secure it.
Yeah, you can't sit in that top 4 and be like, oh, you know, my job is done here, because there are people tailing on you that also want that position as well. I mean, no one wants to go to the survival stage. They don't want to have to fight again. So this is where these next couple of games are going to be incredibly crucial for these teams. And, you know, we have been touching on, I think Barium United, you're kind of safe. Like, that is an exceptional lead for them. But, I mean, mid-range of this leaderboard need to be able to be a little bit more cohesive and get those placement points on top of getting eliminations. Because, yeah, cool, you can make it into that final circle, but everybody else wants that same kind of action too. So we need to see obviously exceptional eliminations right at the start and a little bit more strategy to push themselves into that final zone and be able to secure a spot there.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 3 places up for grabs, right? So it's everyone's game. I think it is time for us to see what's going to happen next.
Oh, I'm going to save us the curse, and I'm going to send it to the casters instead.
Okay.
Yesterday, we were
Curse.
able to bless some teams, wondering if they were going to be able to get 3 booyahs. We have 2 squads now with 2 booyahs apiece. So Husky, Lucifer, are they going to maybe get that 3rd booyah or no?
I am pretty sure at this point of time that anything is possible, and I'm looking forward to see if AGL can get that 3rd, or maybe TAG. But I gotta say, spicy words from Nix, from Lau, and Conchita's takes have been getting hotter and hotter. Yeah, I'm throwing my book out the window.
Yeah,
I'm here for the vibes, man.
Exactly. At this point, none of the things that happened yesterday in terms of points, in terms of how storylines were built, are all broken down as we see the flight path. This time at least a tad bit better compared to the previous game that we ended at Purgatory. But yes, a great end for Team Apex Gaming in India. And now another opportunity for AGL to get their 3rd here. And again, like how Buriram did, maybe even AGL do a 3 for themselves.
I mean, BRU hit the 200-point threshold as expected. First team to reach there. Wow, plenty of eliminations on that feed as well as teams started off hot. Well, this say Shoto really coming alive. Paradox, unfortunately, almost snuffed up of theirs. Madara, get a confirmation. That's the 2nd one for Demon's Pride. Should be able to get the pick up there. Jazzy though, under fire. As pressure mounts. There is Apex nearby with Evos by their side.
Yeah, this is not the best of the battle, but look at Shoto. He has looked like a beast, completely going all in, the rusher. And now again, another opportunity that he wants to strike at. And there it is. Before going striking, he goes in for a revive. Abax quickly challenged by Demon's Pride. And Shoto going in for another revive. A couple of losses that they had. And Shoto gets all their players, one after another, back on their feet. Going and getting in. One last player left from Team Apex Gaming. And Shoto right now doing the magic to get the Apex back.
And after an extended breather, suddenly this match 11 of Group A turned into the Wild West. They are still going. Top 16 needs assistance. Apex getting gunned down, but Russia that covers the flank. Madara ends up losing out. Demon's Pride needs to find a way out of this. They are slowly running out of gas, but Evos with a choco right around the corner. It's Jazzy confirmed. Demon's Pride vanquished.
Match number 11 this is, and Demon's Pride going out at this point makes their chances and their keys all going out of their hands. Evos on the other end, they'll be happy. However, tag not yet because Wolvin just got taken down by Loud. BZP and the team's very first elimination. And Sahil Jad in a complete different direction. Tag spread around the map itself because this start was not great for them. They're unable to replicate what they just did in the previous game. And I don't know how, right? One game they got a booyah, did not make the best in the second, and then coming back to the next, again another booyah. A little back and forth happening here from Team Apex Gaming.
Yeah, we actually have a terminology for that. It's called the RRQ experience. In a way, sorry RRQ fans. You know it's true. You know it's true, Conchita. I love you a lot. But I gotta say, after match number 10, we already see the clear hierarchy, right? Top 4 confirmed. Even if Falcons go on a miracle run to do it in 2 matches, highly unlikely. So now it's the fight to not be in the bottom 2. But even then, with Demon's Pride out, they only have one more chance in match 12 to do so. Paradox hanging on by the skin of their teeth. They gotta find a revival to get back into the game.
But getting the game going is going to be due. Elimination, damage all being done. Aim God now taken down by Titan Esports Club. That was one of the players, but there's still a challenge coming in. Ray, he gets taken down. Titan Esports Club, they get challenged by Aurora. And look at the Axel's position. Completely unthought of, and Aurora taking this as an advantage. And Titan Esports Club, all they want is making sure they secure their survival stage chances. And a challenge coming in from Azriel is good to deliver one, but then the entire trail of Aurora follows through. And Titan Esports Club, they lose their players one after another. And it's only up to Kutush, and Kutush has always been the savior for this team.
Forced to slow the pace down. Not really close to his team, but the Dinocleus from Toe player confirms the absence of anyone there, so he can't get the revive going. Nameless and Cypher linked up. Shoto, great snipe on the trap. Kutush with the full revival there. TAG racking up steady points. Next one fire actually finds Dew with a P90 of all things. So the sniper of AGL will need to be brought back, and that's will be the case. As Loud makes that rotation, BZB wants to push the envelope.
Loud, they are in the top 4, and as you said, they're just making sure they seal the deal with match 11 and match 12 on board. AGAL trying to get closer to their booyahs so that they can cascade in the champion rush. But right as now, Aurora, they're biting their chances, trying to get better, and they're picking on DRS one after another right at the vending machine at Zipway. Not even giving them a chance to breathe over there or even counteract.
Wait a minute.
And look at that, instantly they go for a hit list and goes to Loud's Gosha.
Aurora has 16 eliminations. What?
Yeah.
How much has happened?
That happened.
Wow.
Where did that happen? We'll see in the replays.
Yeah, that's it. We looked away. We looked away for just a little bit.
Yeah.
You see that, Neptune? Thanks for not mentioning Aurora.
And Aurora, big picks. They did trouble Titan Esports Club. Those are some of the eliminations that they managed to get. And right as now, being troubled is going to be Paradox. Falcons, in the meantime, they are trying to go in for a challenge. FGL being used to force on fire, not getting closer. Fire battling with fire, using a chrono, but not for long. And Zuez puts him down, and another back coming in. Aurora, 18 eliminations. It looks like Aurora are taking this chance as the top teams have decided to silence themselves, at least here on Nextera. Aurora are going all out. Another challenge, and Limit X7's positions compromised. Riptide his defense, not great. Azrael tried to jump closer. Unfortunately, the landing was not that great, but what can Limit do? He's stuck in a very hard spot, surrounded by the entirety of Aurora.
Yeah, missing, unfortunately, airballing the Riptide Rhythm is going to put him in a rough spot. I think Aurora really fueled by the early pickings that they've gotten. Now seems to looking to build themselves into an unstoppable fourth circle, move south. But if Aurora can clear out Limit from the area, they get such a stronghold in that area around Zipway. I think the best part of Aurora right now, again, chances of making it in the top 4, pretty much unlikely, but they could cement the position to one of the generation record run. Remember, so far today, the most elimination a team has gotten for themselves is 20.
Yeah.
Aurora is at 19, 18, 19, so already looking to...
This is around the 7-minute mark.
Right?
Right at the end of the game. Aurora in a brilliant run. For the time being, even Evo's trying to start towards of their own elimination. Tag, they find Kutasho there. Seems like the elimination feed slowly, right now, lighting up one after another. AGAL picking off the last player of Paradox, and that is Sneaky out. And Paradox, just like Demon Sprite, their chances are looking bleak.
Really falling out of their hands. Some hit scratches there from Paradox. The only thing that they could hope for right now is for TEC to be next. Then they will have a chance to bring it back. Maybe for Demon's Pride it's going to be an easier journey, but for Paradox it's a 20-point gap. And a lot of hope that TEC don't make it this round and the next.
It's going to be a difficult one to kind of look forward to teams fall and their own uprising, and especially with only one game to go after this. But on the other end, Loud, they have a challenge that's going to be DRS. They thought they were ahead of the game, but BCP, he was quickly surprised by DRS. But the challenge not yet done. Gosha was there out along with Aurora. 20 eliminations on the clock. Not yet 10 minutes, and Azrael going in for a chase. Pratik, he will be taken down by Azrael. Stroix, can he do something different? Right behind the drop, and Aurora have not yet seen, but finally it's going to be the Axel. And DRS out of the run. However, Aurora roaring in this game.
A slight smirk from Axel's face. He knows that the magic is being performed here. They might even set a record for the highest elimination count in a round if this continues. If they add a Booyah on top of that, it might be the record for the most points in a single round.
Yep.
To be achieved and set by Aurora. Missing 4 years from the international stage. I don't care if they win the trophy in the end. There is going to be them inscribed in the history books by the end of this one.
Yeah, To do it at the Esports World Cup, to break records is not at all easy. Titan Esports Club, their journey started today in recovery, and somehow they are above the chopping block for the time being, and especially guys at both get that difference even bigger. That's what they have to act here at Deca. Right close to them, they have X Gaming to be about.
Best part is that with DRS wiped out by Aurora, Titan Esports Club have a better chance now to ascend in the rankings. And not to mention booting Paradox down to the last spot. Race of hope for TEC. EVOS has been a bit quieter this round. I think they were sitting at around 10 eliminations there. About to move forward, potentially bump into Falcons. BRU making the rotation over the boxing gym. Launchpad will be used. This is going to be quite the rotation straight in. Stealth bites by Rasha. Going ahead. And guess who lays ahead? It's Aurora.
He might have the stealth bites and might be in call for the time being, but right in front of Aurora. The only two teams right as now here in Nextera having double digits. Aurora and EVOS both next to each other, and it seems like EVOS do not want any fight of this. They're back off the compound. Move to a different angle for Rasha. He finds an opening on Jun. Do they continue this action? It seems like they're not yet, but that was a warning shot coming in from EVOS.
Yep, indeed. Rasha, always the consistent figure in the team. Even in the darkest day of EVOS, Rasha is the beacon of hope that you can lean your shoulder upon. Even yesterday we look back at EVOS' track record, right?
Yeah.
Rasha is the one that enables everything. He's the one that lights the fuse and gives EVOS the second wind. Survivor and Dominator all packaged into one. It's going to be quite the standstill between them and Aurora. Maybe BRU will break the ice as they now make the presence into the circle.
Every team getting closer, inching against everybody. 4 points for eliminations to be above and surviving, afloat. And I think right as in at least in Nextera, every team is safe and sound, whether it be the top 4, the middle order, because the chopping block teams are already out. They are under threat of elimination.
It almost seems like they've already been placed at the guillotine here.
Yeah.
At the EWC's terms, the Crusher.
This is silence just before a complete cascade of an action breaks out.
Yep.
Zones closing in. Falcons, a very big spread right at Deca Square. But with the binoculars being used, it gives an idea of a totality of the number of teams there. Either it came from Tag or it could be Titan. So it showed that there are 2 different teams holding in the major compound at the center of Deca Square.
Yeah. Lau now makes their move. Hits the timing just right. With the circle centered around Aurora. Najat takes out BZP rotation. Lau has no way to retrieve him. Rasha from the back one. Backside takes out Trap as well. Glue walls have to be used, but even for Guaksha, didn't really have much window to keep his team up. EVOS now being the difference maker. And that gives Aurora even more time to set up. TEC will have to move. But then this Falcons lying in wait on fire. Shows it head! And there's a bait and switch with Limit following up.
Blade just popped up and instantly, as you said, the setup coming in from Limit and now Titan Esports Club. They wanted to create a difference in the number of points they have, and Falcons have them surrounded. But on the other end, it is Team Apex Gaming. They decide to jump in, put Limit itself down, but Kiroro acts quickly. Volvin and Katie got her down. Sahilja trying to recover this. Shoto has to do something brilliant right as now. Falcons have him surrounded, cornered, zones closing, and Shoto is in deep troubles. However, there's a close vending machine, and Sahilja with Shoto will be able to get one of their players back up.
And this could be an opportunity for TEC to take advantage of. Get a couple of knocks down, whittle down the members of Falcons, and give themselves a chance to move on forward. Have to contend with Pina though with Kutas down. And they will have to get that revive going again. Every single second spent not rotating is going to be detrimental. BRU up with the monster truck. There is going to be pressure. Aurora, they gotta they overcome BRU as they crash through, hops on top of the roof. Falcons wipes out the members of AGAL.
AGL going out. Aurora have a chance to make the biggest record here at EWC 26 in Free Fire. 22 eliminations. They died down after that 8-minute mark we were talking about. We're talking about chances dying out. Team Apex Gaming here in next era. They lose their chance out. However, still chances for Titan Esports Club to rake up points, but they're under the axe of the Axel. And Zue is also helping out, and that is going to be an end for Titan Esports Club. 24 in total eliminations coming in from Aurora. Buriram know this is happening, but that's happening right below them. Is there a change?
BRU might be the only person that can, the only team that can stop this carnage from the Malaysians. Of course, with Azrael leading the charge as well. Axo onto the limit this time. Out into the open. Aurora not overheating this time. Get high. Removed from the equation. The clutch factor of BRU no longer in the conversation. And Aurora, new surge confidence, new found hope, now takes on BRU, and they are on top of the roof.
A fight between Loud as well as EVOS. But EVOS, they have the numbers. Loud don't have it. Riptide Rhythm coming in, trying to fend it off, but it goes towards Aurora. The Axel's down, but they are quickly recovering. That's the best part, as you said, they are not overheating. Jun, he stepped out, quickly spotted multiple players and backed out. On the other end, Limit taking an advantage on Buriram out in the open. Buriram thought they're going to be ahead of the circle. The zone shifting, they wanted to take an advantage of it. It did not work in their favor. Aurora on the other end, back into the compound, pummeling bullets towards Falcons as they did trouble Buriram.
You want to talk about David versus Goliath, Aurora is the underdog right now. 25 and counting, make it 26. Azrael with his 7th, side by side with Jun. They make it to the high ground, and now EVOS is going to be the next on that hit list. They eliminate BRU with the help of Falcons, down to just 4. Aurora and EVOS have the best odds with the full squad left alive, as Loud also ends their journey in this match. Kororo all alone. It's going to be the neighbor derby here. Aurora ever so confident.
And the final fight breaking out at Boxing Gym. And the gloves are going to be let loose. EVOS, the defending champions. Aurora, the first time in the making. Breaking a record if possible. EVOS have to set themselves up. Like how we've seen Aurora, they have their elimination spread across all the 4 players, 6, 7, all of that has been seen, but we saw EVOS themselves at the early, looking cool, calm-headed, with fun in their name, with 6, 7 already being done by Russia. But can they actually pull off something like that against Aurora, who are looking like the Goliaths in this game?
Start to eliminate the external factors. As EVOS, they take the challenge head on. You know they never shy away. Blue walls put up by Aurora to prevent any sort of an off angle, as EVOS barricades themselves in its compound, but the circle is going to force certain movements. Suez still preoccupied by Kororo. He needs to be removed.
This is the plan. Aurora do not want to give the chance for EVOS to step out until Kororo is removed, because they do not want somebody trying to pepper them out without intent. And now with him going out, Falcons out, it is going to be a fair 4v4 battle. But the best possibility for Aurora is they have cornered them. They've closed out every opening on EVOS.
There's a chance for a 43-point round right now for Aurora. A record never seen from a Malaysian team. Last we saw was 42 points last year by Falcons. Aurora have a chance to make it 43. And how cool is that on EWC a year apart? The circle, it's going to be the game maker. Axo on the roof, but we eventually have to descend.
Neither of these teams have the best of the circle. They're at the edge of it. They're at the center of it. It will come down to a battle, but look at Aurora using all their glue walls, making sure EVOS does not head out. They're hoping that this zone shrinks in their favor.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
Waiting for an opportunity. EVOS also not trying to rush out. Might come down to just their HP.
Is it really going to be a heating battle? Azrael not able to sneak in. It's going to be so close. Axo is going to be their lifeline. Rasha finding a knock. Here he comes. EVOS on the hunt. Azrael with the knockdown here. But the lifeline is on top of the roof. Is Aurora. All hopes on the Axo. Can he outlast the odds? Aim God. Knocked down by the blue zone. Axo continuing to patch himself up. It's him and Apex. Who is going to outlast the system? Axo falls at the very end. And the one that comes out on top.
The Tigers, they hold off the zone, helping them out. Aurora, they should have kept their aggression going on and they could have got a record. But what a booyah coming in from EVOS, holding it off. We saw the fight could have broken out very early on. Russia instantly shut down Aurora, saying do not take that fight against us. And in boxing, Jane, we did look forward to the bell, but it was in favor for EVOS.
And regardless of that, Aurora have something to be proud of. Still a record being set. Almost close to 40 points. A scoreline that any team would dream of.
Yeah.
Again, we said highly unlikely that top 4 standings will change, but this has at least kept Aurora in the game. And even for EVOS, they know what the plan of Aurora was. They were prepped to play that healing game. What an impressive round, honestly, from the Malaysian team. I think it is something that, we saw back in the SCA, back in spring. The good games of Aurora are the games that they are willing to make these moves and take on the fight, and god damn, they did it well.
Yeah, I wish for this fight to break out in their favor. They should have gone for it a little ahead.
I agree.
But yeah, there was even electrotherapy being used by EVOS. That also helped out ABAX over there. And that's what we talk about, these minute things, you having the skills ready for those final battles. It helped out EVOS over there. Aurora otherwise maybe could have had their own big one. Let's hear them.
I was ready for a bloodbath, honestly. I was so ready for Aurora to just run in, duke it out, throw haymakers, and see what happens. They chose the safe way, but again, no harm, no foul. You know?
We've been seeing these teams who have had their booyahs and their comms right at the very end. It has not been hectic at all. And in this bed we saw comms, they're like, hey, we understand what Aurora are trying to do. Let's do the same thing. It worked out for EVOS.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even see EVOS trying to force their way out from the boxing gym. They're like, I guess we chill. And then we try to...
We 6-7.
We 6-7, right? And so we got 6-7. Game 6 is coming up. But of course, before we get to that, we got to see what's going on in the rest of EWC.
Me, there's a machine. I don't really understand how to play or how to use it, so I'm gonna ask this man right here. Hello. So can you explain how can we use or play this? Because I really want to give a try.
Yes. So it's easy. I will push the start button and you will have 5 seconds to prepare and it will start falling down. You will have to catch them all. So there are 10 in totals. And once you catch one, you can drop it on the floor.
Wow, this game is gonna be very hard. It's about flexible testing. Okay. Let's see if I can do it or not. I think it's a good game to testing your flexible, and of course my hat is falling off, but this one is pretty fun for exercise. Let's move to the next one.
From that last map, I mean ending it with a healing game and a record almost broken. Can you believe this, AJ?
I can definitely believe it. What I cannot believe is the fact that it was a Malaysian squad that almost broke the record of Falcons themselves, right? Massive game for Aurora, but that's exactly what you want to show the Malaysian fans out there, that you're not just here to fill a slot, that you're here to go all the way to the grand finals. And because of Champion Rush, maybe even run away with it.
Yeah, it's anyone's game because today has been crazy.
Yeah.
We started off the day with Booyahs from TAG, and they had 2 of them despite struggling yesterday. And AGAL still rampaging and finally clinching in that Booyahs as well.
Absolutely. It's just Chuck Day India all day long. This is the moment for Team Apex Gaming to rise up to the occasion. They clearly knew it. Yesterday was a warm-up day for them, right? I wasn't too concerned about them at all because we've seen the way India plays, and it is all about the patience. It's all about reading and understanding the rotations of the other teams and then going in for the strike when you truly need to do so. And today is the day. Perhaps they might not get the early access into the grand finals, but what they will most definitely do is not get relegated today. Down at the bottom, Paradox as well as Demon's Pride, they are the ones who are in a little trouble.
Yeah, it's looking really scary for them as well, especially as you know it is elimination day after all. You do not want to get dropped today. You either want to be at the very top all the way to finals, or you want to at least survive for survival stage.
Absolutely, and obviously you want to get in there a tad bit earlier, but there is no harm whatsoever in playing that survival stage, right? You've got an extra 10 games to go through that also gives you a little bit of extra warm-up before you play the grand finals. But obviously the Super Titans want to get in there early, and Southeast Asia, as expected, finding dominance there. Now the surprising thing is Loud, even without a dominant run today, are still in the top 4.
Yeah, they still are. They're still farming. They're still going crazy right now. And I am very excited to see what will be happening. So, after this,
we've got the final game. It's the final showdown. It is the final opportunity for the 2 teams down at the bottom. The ones they are chasing, though, is from Bangladesh, TEC. Now, they've done good enough so far to stay clear of that bottom spots, those 2 bottom spots, but they're a little bit too close to being uncomfortable in the competition. This is that round. I'm expecting them to make a breakout run.
yeah, it's really scary to think about it. But again, anything can happen. We've seen records almost broken as well. And I think that after this, before we go, I mean, again, it's the final game before we go into the second series of the day, right? So in your opinion, what do you want to see on the final map?
I want to see the underdogs rise up to the occasion, even though Demon's Pride, as well as, you know, the ones who are closest to them, are not going to find a way to maybe get the booyah at the end of the day. They still need to try. They still need to throw out a lot of points as much as possible. So if possible, get to that final circle before finding your eliminations.
I also agree. I want to see the battle of the underdogs, but who else better to tell us what will be happening in the last match? Other casters, we have Lucifer and also Husky.
You are damn right, Tash and AJ. Last match of Group A. And we are about to see some dreams get crushed in this brutal reality of an international competition. Paradox Gaming down at the bottom, followed by Demon's Pride in 11th place. But there is still hope. Even a slight glimmer is what might make the difference for these two teams. We saw TEC, they ran away with the previous map thanks to a bit of intervention. Paradox Gaming have a mountain to climb to even make it to 10th spot. But for Demon's Pride, for the pride of Pakistan, that journey might be slightly extended if they just get a good round.
It needs to be the greatest of rounds for both Paradox and Demon's Pride, as this is the last game for Group A, match number 12. And it starts now with Paradox already taking a dive towards Moat House, but they have trouble. That's going to be DRS, not the great journey as they dive out very first. Sneaky, however, has taken a dive in the other direction, but very close is even Demon's Pride. Both the ones almost at the bottom, out of the race, are very close. This is unfortunate.
Yep, very poetic as well that the last map is Purgatory. And can they survive Purgatory? Pratik making hope look a bit glim there. L2K doing the same. Enrique needs to be picked back up, but L2K needs to be able to hold the fort so far. Paradox down in numbers. DRS with 2 already.
This is not looking great. Windy, he wants to do something, has a Vector on hand, but can he do something brilliant? Skill ready, but he doesn't even get to use a single bullet. And he gets taken down by Pratik, the P90 putting him down, but Sneaky. Thankfully, there was a revive, so he can go for this battle, but for how long can he do this? Paradox need to recover. They need to understand the stakes right now. That if they get eliminated so early, the result for sure is elimination.
Not only that, you're also feeding points into the DRS machine. That means, at least for this situation, it won't change much. But with Demon's Pride arriving, You gotta make something out of it. Aswa finding L2K. That makes it even worse for Paradox. Windy will bring him back. Finally, Sneaky getting the job done. Getting the first for Paradox. A step in the right direction. Strowax will want to find revenge. But Sneaky is doing his absolute best to stay alive. But Strowax pulls out the sight and ends Sneaky's streak. Madara now is gonna queue up and see if he can make something happen.
Demon's Pride, they also need points. If it was Paradox and they were battling against them, that would have been extra points. But DRS, they're safe and sound. So battling with DRS could be trouble. And they've looked better so far in the entire journey of the 12 games that we've seen. Hope Demon's Pride are prepared for it. One thing for sure, in the intention of moving towards Moat Houses, the fight is isolated. Whatever happens, you may be able to recover it. But can it work out? It doesn't. Both top 16 and Madara, they get taken out.
And that does not look good at all. At least for Demon's Pride and Paradox, they're still in it. Still a chance. TAG, on the other hand, not doing that well. Madara gets brought back. Gun Dynasty, watching that top 4 slip away. Now, we'll have to see if they can at least end on a high note. Doing like what Aurora did in the previous round. Almost 40 bomb. Shairu getting spotted out by Jun. That's half his health bar gone.
Aurora, just before this, they had only Jun surviving, but thankfully got the whole team back up. So his life at this point, losing it out is okay. But on the other hand, as you did mention, going out with a bang is something that Gun Dynasty should expect and should replicate, because their top 4 chances are now gone. Unfortunate for them. The great run that they had on day 1 cannot do or say much here on day 2, because the Southeast Asia and Brazil, they went all out. And again, going in for a battle is going to be EVOS and AGAL. Not yet found an opening. Bullets being exchanged on either end. Dew now gets closer with his sniper. Can he find the opening? Yes, he does. It's going to be Ray getting taken down. Confirmation not yet there. Aim God running right across. Ray's confirmation will follow to Dew. And now Cypher following with ABAX going down. AGAL looking better, but finally taking a hit on Dew. Now it gives a chance for EVOS to get back into the game.
Aim God's gonna get surrounded as he revisits that area. The double back for AGAL paid off big time as they picked off the majority of EVOS and forcing them into that revive game. Dew doesn't even go down. None is lost on the side of AGAL as the feed continues to light up with some of the bottom teams. Stroax finding his 4th on the Sneaky. Jazzy picked up by Get High. Things continue to develop in a negative way for Demon's Pride and Paradox. TAG needs to find a way to get woven back into action as Azrael also destroyed by Pina.
Falcons at Central, a UAV to scan. They do not find anything. On the other end, Aurora, we spoke about this. After almost a record-breaking performance, this last game of Purgatory is now working in their favor. Last time it was Jun, this time it's the Axel. On the other end, DRS are still hitting on Paradox, getting extra eliminations from them. Quick on the revive, thankfully had enough coins to get the whole squad back up. What is this again? Demon's Pride and Paradox one against each other. And Windy quick on the revive. Madara had the same intention as well. But at the end of it, it's going to be Madara who gets that elimination. And that's going to be a second. But DRS is still close by. If Demon's Pride as well as Paradox keep going at it like this, their chances of making it up will not work out, because TEC, they've already picked up 5 eliminations of this game.
And with top 16 going down. Again, a reset, a hard reset onto Demon's Pride. Madara would just have to make that rotation. Blade making good on his opportunity. Takes down Wasana in the meantime. Players of Paradox on your screens. Again, it's going to be tough. Sneaky losing out again. And like you said, Lucifer, this cycle of point churning, if it's not into the pockets of Paradox and Demon's Pride,
yeah,
there's no chance.
Not sure what the thought was. Maybe they both wanted to go for a drop clash and DRS ended up becoming the surprise. And DRS are getting those extra points at the time being. TEC in the meantime, they are getting their own eliminations. They're already, we saw just before this, at 80 points. So a chase towards them is going to be very difficult for both Demon's Pride and Paradox, and especially they're losing players one after another. Finally, somebody has taken the most eliminations away from Trap, and it's going to be Sci-Fi, and that's what I'm pretty sure every fan of AGL will be happy to see.
Yeah. Russia still in first place.
Yeah.
At least tied up with Sci-Fi. The previous Clash Squad tournament, he actually is the most damaged, the highest damage dealer, and no one could get close to him.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't win the whole thing, and that's the craziest part. Wasana actually getting removed. But now, coming to life, Gun Dynasty, that's exactly what they need.
Maybe the last game, but still, give it your all. A warning to the teams who will make it to the survival stage. That's what Gun Dynasty need to look forward to. Paradox, in the meantime, do get another revive again to their teammates, but driving away their chances. A Titan Esports Club from Bangladesh, something that we were looking forward to. When we speak about South Asia, yes, India now looking great, especially after Tag getting 2 booyahs. I'm pretty sure teams from Bangladesh would want to do it because they're Straw Hats in our Group B as well. They've not looked great. At least Titan Esports Club have taken it up a notch.
Yeah. And it could be a source of motivation for Mia Corp too.
Yeah.
And no, it's the first time for South Asia, but they have had a slight taste before this. But for USA, absolute first time. Demon's Pride, unfortunately, the journey might have just ended here at the foothill of EWC 26. All eyes now on TEC and Paradox. 27 points to tie. The highest of mountains for Paradox to climb, but they're still in it.
These are the numbers that we kind of talk about when teams need to get to champion rush. How far are they? How can they deny teams? But right as now, it's about staying alive. And that's going to be an even tougher task to dabble and work around. And I think Paradox, they have a long statement to do if they have to put up a performance like this. Because we've not seen so far, 11 games they've played, we've not seen them pull off a double-digit game.
Yeah, it would be a lot more reassuring if TC didn't also have 8 eliminations under the belt.
Yeah.
The break even. And that is going to only make things harder as more teams get removed. Strox taken out by BZP. It's a good time to kind of lay it out on the table as well. This last round, a lot of what's happening is inconsequential if it doesn't directly affect Paradox.
Paradox, every time they take a step, they are either surrounded by DRS or being challenged by somebody else.
Yep.
This time at least, they've fended off DRS. It's only going to be Pratik and they instantly surround him.
Nice.
Quick on the take is going to be Sneaky. Happy on that elimination is also going to be Paradox. But they're not out of elimination. Loud is getting closer at that ski lodge's end. Forge is above. Can they forge their very own key that stays alive? At this point, it looks tougher than ever.
And remember, with that elimination, they tie up with TEC again.
Yeah.
27 points, the count starts here. Enough bodies to go through, but with the right placement points.
Not the best challenge right they have. DRS, they somehow were able to fend off. You can see Takuri did get the whole squad back, but look at Loud. This is how they challenge, going directly in. And Trap puts the player from Paradox down. Now Windy, he spots them from afar, thankfully. None of the players from Paradox were close by, and Loud did just get one and try to back off, but now Nyx has spotted them. That will instantly tell Loud to go for the next fight.
Yeah, forget about a hit and run. How about hit you straight? Again, Paradox sent on the run again. You look at the radar, Paradox actually have a good spot to not only get the revive, but reset again. But for Loud, they've already cemented their 4th spot. Really doesn't matter how this round turns out. Falcons, impossible to make it to grand finals. We'll have to play for survival. Gun Dynasty continues to make a statement on the feed as well, taking out Pratik. Spinel is the one that breathes life into the team. BRU as well, finding a recovery. It's Gun Dynasty under the lightning zone, challenged by AJL and deal best Spinel.
2 shots looking for the second on David, but Cypher was close by. As David goes down, even Vega gets taken. This is AGL looking forward to their run at that champion rush. And now Loud has a challenge right in front of them. Can they take them down? Damage already being done. Their Scour Fiber is not going to work out. Trap gets taken down. That's due for you. Due looking forward to another challenge with Nick. Trap getting confirmed. Cypher puts BZP down. Now Nick gets closer to Due in that CQC. It's going to be Nick delivering for Loud.
He did say that only Brazil will prevail, but unfortunately AGL will remind him that the true kings so far are still the ties, and Loud will have to take a bow now. Guaksha brings Trap back in. Another reset for Aurora, blowing all of that steam in the previous game, and now sitting at no eliminations and a rough round ahead of them. Only one remaining survivor. Paradox back in action. BRU right in front of them. If Paradox can get through this hurdle, gotta start with the TAG.
Which is the best fight for Paradox to pick? At this point, none. But they have to. If they want their chances at Esports World Cup 26, go to the survival stage right here in Paris. And Tag right now closed off. Instant dash coming through. Windy has to find the opening, but it's going to be Shoto to turn it around, denying Paradox an opportunity. However, KD has been exchanged. That confirmation will not work through. Oh, they do actually, and Shoto trades it off with one of his own.
Could have got a lot of words for Paradox, but bailed out by Windy with his life, with his dying breath. Enrique now with the challenge, absolutely decimated. Paradox down to 2, on their last legs, in front of TAG. L2K now removed. Shoto making sure that Paradox will breathe their last here. BRU now show up, and Sneaky out in the open. And that is all she wrote. Paradox Gaming breathes their last in Paris.
They held that fight for far too long, holding it out here. And Buriram also got closer. Now even Loud. So Buriram, they are also at a disadvantage. They also need to decide to pick it up. And looking at the best spot is going to be Team Apex Gaming. In the meantime, as Paradox has gone out, the troubles for Titan Esports Club have vanished. They did lose a player, but I'm pretty sure the threat of somebody else raking up a lot of points is not something that they will be worried about. Najat is the last one. A nice hit coming in from Ray, denying Aurora and eliminating them. Evos, they use their binoculars. They spot 7 players. And that's going to be Loud. That's going to be Buriram along with Close by Team Apex Gaming. Najat trying to time this perfectly. He's behind all the enemies who have already made it inside the circle. And I think Titan Esports Club are making sure no second chances left to anybody, that they still have points and they qualify, make it to the survival stage at least.
Yep, they've done just enough for another 10 rounds tomorrow. So from this point onwards, there's no more consequences to whatever happens. But it'd be nice to get the booyah to add on to that record. And GD, they're doing the Aurora run, man, Lucifer.
Yeah.
18 eliminations.
They've gone big. Gun Dynasty now in a cluster though. Loud has spotted Nejad. So for his survival, it looks not that great. He should be picked off very soon. Team Apex Gaming, they've been holding in that tent for far too long. Their position was already compromised when Buriram made the entry. But Buriram, now they have an attention to pay to somebody else. That's going to be Gun Dynasty. But Gun Dynasty, before giving them any heat, they want to take a fight against Team Apex Gaming. But Team Apex Gaming, they've closed all the fronts. Just like how an entry was done by Paradox, no other team is getting an allowance like that. And now Gun Dynasty, they have more challenges in front of them as Evos walks up.
And BRU is listening in closely, in a separate tent as well. Russia will have to spend some time to heal back up. The medic gun speeds up the process. Loud taking care of Nurja. The Titan Esports Club are writing their last. But again, just enough to make it to tomorrow. But Loud now have distance, great angles to intervene in this 4-way fight happening right in front of them.
Last 5 teams, out of which only one team has all their 4 players surviving. That's going to be Evos. Sahil Jad, Shairu did blow open in a place to enter the doorway, but it did not work out. Sahil Jad was holding it off. BZP on the other end is spotting the entirety of Gun Dynasty. The chrono for the time being, will it save him? He gets into this own monster truck that was brought by Gun Dynasty and trying to hold it off. David on the other end trying to use his own guns to put the player down. It doesn't work out. One by one, players from Loud get taken down, and Gun Dynasty get eliminations raked up. Hit it to 21.
They tried to save David, but the blue zone hurt too much. Attempted Grand Theft Auto by Loud. Punish. In the loss of GD, Russia getting tagged from afar. Benel and Shiru, both going big. Circle closing in less than 10. Evos now on the aggression. Inching closer and closer to a GD. This is great for BRU and TAG, and I believe we've seen this before earlier today.
Just like what EVOS ended up doing on day one, instantly showing why they're the defending champions. Now they're closer to one more for themselves. However, Gun Dynasty, they do not want to give them a chance. They want to make sure this last game, everybody gets to know their name once again, just like they made it on day one. Chrono being used, EVOS get closer, damage being done, and that Chrono will protect Gun Dynasty for the time being.
The circle is moving. BRU calls dips on that. Team Apex Gaming staying behind, but the last two times they did that, they won the round.
Yeah.
But this time, they have one lesser member. They don't have KD God with him. But they still have Shoto.
Every time fight breaks out between three teams, it's always Team Apex Gaming have an advantage. So they want to wish EVOS and Buriram go fight against each other, but it looks like EVOS have their clear intention of who they're going to take this fight against.
EVOS clearly had the numbers advantage. The Blue Door starting to hurt TAG, forced to take the long road. That's going to cost them some help. Wasana already waiting in the flank. The point guard of BRU in this encounter. EVOS pushes forward from the side, held back by Moshi. Abax needs to get something done right now. Can AimGod break it open? Shoto certainly does. As he takes down the young prince of BRU, Woven finds one onto EVOS. Abax responds, but it's on to Moshi. That's the execution right out in the open. BRU seems to be the target. Shoto gunned down by Rashad, but moving. Picks him back up, drops the dough. TAG are so close.
Another opportunity for them. Team Apex Gaming, a man down, but they have a lot of hopes with the aggression they would want to convert on. With the damage being done, nice shot coming in from AimGod, following through. Wolven, the last man, is the savior. Can he do something brilliant? AimGod says no and shuts them down. And that's going to be EVOS, your defending champions of EWC. Looking forward to making sure they have a statement at the end of Group A games.
Back-to-back booyahs. To close out the group stage, at least for Group A, EVOS have made a statement indeed. 1 year difference. Since 25, since they hoisted that trophy, they have been on a slump. People are wondering if that is it for EVOS. So much doubt throughout fall, throughout Global Finals 2025, throughout spring. And here they are, 2 good days in a row. That's Paradox Gaming on your screens. All love. But throughout all of that, BRU have done more than enough. They are going to be the ones that tops Group A.
What a game coming in from Buriram. I think while we talk about teams of consistency, right? They showed us what consistency means. Yes, this game and the previous one, a back-to-back booyah pulled off by EVOS, showing why and what they are, what they're looking forward to in EWC 26. But consistency is the key. That's what everybody wants to place inside the shield. And maybe Buriram might be writing it for themselves.
Let's listen in on what EVOS is talking about with that win in the final round. AimGod standing up before the fight even ends, but hey, it's set in stone. Even though EVOS, they got that back-to-back booyah, but again, Buriram United Esports done more than enough to be at the top of the group, and you know what that means, Lucifer.
Yeah,
they're gonna pull the trigger.
They will. 2 keys will be crushed. And for AimGod to stand up like that, he knew what was happening. He had taken 2 of the players of tag down, so he knew his teammates in a 3v1 will pull it off. And it eventually did work out. EVOS. But you can see at the biggest of stages, this is how the part and parcel of competition is. Paradox, they're happy on one end that they were able to make it to such a big stage, represent their region, and put a performance that they could deliver on. And on the other end, Demon's Pride, this was their very first time from their region, and they wanted to make sure they put up a big performance. They tried their best, but the Group A, being the toughest, did trouble them.
Yep. Of course, the Latam fans here in full force, and that's just a fraction of it. I mean, for Africa, it's the first time for the region. For Pakistan, it's not the first year.
Yeah.
And that's the contrast that we see on the stage right now. They can still walk back with their heads held high because they have done more than enough to showcase their best on the world stage. And I'm pretty sure there's more to come.
There is a lot. That's what we look forward to from every team whenever they step up on a stage like this. And this is how we love to see things like this. But on stage, we have Barney ready. Let's send it to him.
Well, well, well. An exciting day in Group A has now come to a close. 6 teams have secured a spot in the survival stage. 4 have made it through to the grand finals directly, and 2 are going to go home. And so that's what we're here to do right now. But first, I'm going to have a little interview with Buriram United Esports, because what a dominant day. Okay, let's set the scene, okay? Let's go back in time, your journey to this point. World champions in 2025. 5th in the regional finals, so not obviously, you didn't match your expectations for that, but now dominating in the group stage at the Esports World Cup, that's got to boost your confidence, right, Rosanna?
ก็ก่อนอื่นเลยนะครับขอแสดงความยินดีด้วยนะครับกับผลงานในวันนี้ออกไปในทางยอดเยี่ยมเลยทีเดียวนะฮะแต่ว่าก่อนอื่นเนี่ยขอย้อนเวลากลับไปในปีที่แล้วสักนิดนึงใน global ในเวที global tournament นะฮะหรือว่าในเวทีระดับ region นะฮะเราจบที่ 5ซึ่งแบบว่าผลงานไม่ได้ไปตามทางที่เราหวังมากนะอยากทราบว่าในวันนี้เนี่ยเรารู้สึกยังไงกันบ้างฮะ
ก็วันนี้ก็ทำได้แล้วครับก็ทำให้เห็นแล้วก็ใช่ไหมพี่ผมตอบถูกไหมตอบนะก็คือก็ดีใจครับแค่นั้นเลย
Yeah, actually we are very happy and excited that we finally be able to like prove ourselves that we deserve to be here to become the world champ of this year.
I like that. Now, one thing that all these teams are chasing, obviously, whilst we're here, is consistency. And it seems like you guys have that in absolutely mountainous amounts, because you guys managed to secure 3 booyahs yesterday. Today, not so many. However, you're still putting up points every single game. What does it mean to have these teammates with you and performing so well here on the main stage?
ก็ในเวทีการแข่งขัน EWC 2026 ณ กรุงปารีสนะฮะในกรุ๊ปสเตจทั้ง2วันนี้เนี่ยเราทำผลงานออกมาได้ดีทั้ง2วันเลยถึงแม้ว่าในเมื่อวานเราได้ทำบูย่าไปทั้งหมด3ครั้งด้วยกันแต่วันนี้เนี่ยถึงแม้ว่าเราจะไม่ได้บูย่าเลยแม้แต่ครั้งเดียวแต่เรายังได้แต้มทุกเสมอทุกเกมเลยนะฮะรู้สึกยังไงกันบ้างครับผม
ก็รู้สึกดีใจครับก็ได้ตามซ้อมตามแผนที่เตรียมมาครับผมว่าคะแนนประมาณนี้พวกผมก็ทำได้เป็นเรื่องปกติอยู่แล้วก็ไม่ได้รู้สึกดีใจหรืออะไรครับแค่รู้สึกพอใจตัวเองมากกว่าที่ทำได้ตามฟอร์มครับ
Yeah, actually we are pretty happy and satisfied with our performance because like this is supposed to be our true form and true power. So if we can do it like this over and over again, I think we're going to be able to claim the champ trophy.
I like to hear that. I like the confidence. It's good. Now, gentlemen, it's time to join me. Come on, walk with me. This right here, this is called the Crusher. And as you can imagine, we're going to crush some hopes, going to crush some dreams, and crush some keys. Like I'll remind you, we have 2 teams who have been eliminated from the competition. They need to have their keys crushed. And so, we're going to start things off. Would you like to press this button?
กดปุ่มเลยครับ
It's going to open up. It's going to reveal the teeth. It looks menacing. Let's be honest. We're going to crush these keys. Okay, Wasana, would you like to gently pull on this lever and send them home? Is there anything you would like to say to your teams before we crush them?
ก่อนที่เราจะดึงคันโยกลงมานะเพื่อส่งดึกคีย์ทั้ง2อันลงไปเนี่ยมีอะไรอยากจะฝากบอกทุกทีมเลยไหมฮะกับแล้วก็2
ไม่เป็นไรครับเก่งแล้วแต่ผมเก่งกว่าครับตัวที
Yeah GG nice try but we are better than you guys sorry
Oh, that's what I like to hear. Okay, pull that lever in 3, 2, 1. Send them home. And just like that, 2 teams have been eliminated from Free Fire at the Esports World Cup 2026. But don't go anywhere, because 2 more teams will be eliminated later today. And as we get those groups prepped, we're going to head back to the studio before we continue with day number 2. Now, something that really hits close to home, and one of the things that we cherish the most here at the Esports World Cup, is support for our players on the main stage. And one of the most incredible things is, of course, when families, fathers, sons, brothers, mothers are here to cheer for their children and for their siblings on the main stage. It truly is amazing. I've got Shailesh here joining me, Shoto's father from Team Apex Gaming. Shailesh, tell me what it's like being a dad. I'm a dad. I have a 4-year-old son. What is it like to cheer for your son on the main stage at an event like this?
It's great to cheer for your son, especially if he's an 18-year-old son and who is doing something which I don't understand. So you can imagine it's very difficult to cheer for him. But once he won the Indian Championships, before that I was a tough opponent of his. I used to refuse and deny him whatever he asked for. But after he won that, I knew he was passionate about this game. So you can imagine I've got 4 other family members with me. I have spent so much money to come here to support him. So that says it all. Now I am one of his biggest fans.
I love that. We managed to convert you to being a fan of esports. That's brilliant. Madhvi, what is it like being here as a mum? I think that one of the most important things is to teach your children to chase their dreams, right? And now Shoto is chasing his. How does that feel?
It's a proud moment for me as a mother. He's playing very well, enjoying.
He's playing incredibly well, especially today. After yesterday, okay? Yesterday was a struggle, an uphill battle. Today they're playing so well. Yeah, tell me how it feels.
Yeah, I think 2 games is quite the progress, I would say, because I think yesterday it was kind of a struggle for almost every single player in their team. But finally they have proved themselves and made a great comeback, which I'm sure a lot of people, even in our home country, India, are proud of.
I love it.
Shoto's family is going to be happy because Tag is going to survival stage, as we saw the first keys being crushed here for Free Fire at EWC 26, none other than Demon Pride and PDX, but we'll talk about that later because we're going to be talking about the teams that are in the top 4 and will be going to the finals. One of them, Buriram. Very consistent 2 days.
Yeah, consistent as heck, but it seemed like they did run out a little bit of speed from day number 1. I felt day number 1 was explosive for them, and it felt like today they're maybe in power saving mode, but after all, they're still up there in the lead. Do they really need to rush a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Loud was on power saving mode as well. They didn't really need to do much. They were just being very consistent, very average games, and they still remained up in the top. But what's interesting is Gun Dynasty kind of slowing things down today, intentionally or unintentionally. Unfortunately for them, Loud has taken away their spot in the top 4 already. They get to move on into the grand finals. But more importantly, it was the storyline of who's at the bottom. And Titan Esports Club, TEC, many doubters out there. Of course, tons of supporters as well. They have managed to save themselves from relegation.
Just barely. It feels like just barely, because at the beginning of the day, I mean, throughout the day too, that squad was just there in contention, doing enough to what it took to keep them away from those bottom 2. But the way you were talking about Gun Dynasty, that's a team that slowed down in a big way.
Yeah.
Lace, boy, did they slow down in another squad that was kind of able to bring it back up as we see the top 4 teams that will be moving on to the grand finals. What's Falcons?
Yeah, I mean, Team Falcons, you know, I sort of said that this is something that they need to showcase a little bit more grunt into it, and boy, did they do that. So from up to about 10 matches, they were about 9.4 average kills and to 4.4 placement, which is actually beating, you know, teams like Gun Dynasty, who, you know, just brought it back in these last couple of matches. So seeing that sort of, like, I guess, competition between these 2 teams, Falcons, Gun Dynasty, is obviously what makes these storylines so fantastic. Clearly not enough to make it into that top 4 we saw in that final circle. It was like looking good for these teams, and then somewhere along the lines, you know, they came in from the eastern side. I know, like, I think it was Loud holding the eastern corner there for quite some time in the position. So it was very difficult for Team Falcons and obviously Gun Dynasty to sort of get that fruition and get those extra placement points that they needed to push them up to that top 4. But look, if we're looking into like survival kind of matches here, this is an excellent feat from them. So I'm pretty keen to see like what happens with like the next group and how these guys will go in contention with that. But like a great, obviously, you know, I guess, team effort from Team Falcons for them today.
Indeed. They need to
Team
find a
Falcons.
way to get those booyahs because as you saw there in the top 4, it was just squads that were able to get booyahs. Apex Gaming, I mean, we saw what one of the players' families was saying there, happy with their performance. A little bit too late from what we saw in the first day, but a great bounce back for this squad going into survival and taking some momentum with them.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing this team, if you think about it. Yesterday, fairly quiet. Now coming in today, I think coming in really hot. And I think it's really good as well because day one is more of like icebreaker day. Everyone's just trying to get a feel of each other as well, right?
Yeah.
But another team I really want to talk about as well is Aurora.
Yeah.
Because coming into this...
I would say that around Neptune.
True.
They were a team. I felt like yesterday they were struggling. They were knocked out a bit too early so many times. We saw the vision, but not the execution. And whatever it is that happened yesterday or today, in fact, they almost broke a record today.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to bring the conversation back to Team Apex Gaming, right? Because I think this is a whole big win for India as a region who are making it back into the global scene after a long, long time. I mean, many people would have expected these Indian teams to be rusty, and that's exactly what they were in day one, at least for Team Apex Gaming. But today they have shown us that they can play some good fights, they can rip away some good booyahs, but is it going to be enough for them to qualify into the grand finals? Because if you're looking at the teams that are stacked here, that are going to probably make it into the elimination rounds, it's not going to be easy. I mean, in this group in itself, I've got 3 or 4 favorites, but there are only 4 spots left for survival rounds.
And you mentioned it too. I mean, first time being able to be in this kind of stage. It's been a while. We even heard Lucifer saying the first day was going to be a bit of a slow start. The second day was going to be a hyped up moment for them, which ended up being exactly like that for this squad. Going to tag, though, I know you've been at the global finals many times. You've been at many events. What is something that you would like to see Team Apex Gaming do coming to tomorrow for survival? Because only the top 4 will be going, and it's not 2 days. It's just going to be 1 day.
Let me just put it this way, okay? The Indian teams are already winning, okay? Shoto is already winning. I want Indian parents like that, man. I mean, when the common factor for any Indian boy in his house is you become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or you're a failure in life, all right? So to explore esports, to have your parents fly all the way down to Paris to celebrate you and to support you, I think that's a huge win already. They are setting an example for everybody else out there. I wish and hope those other parents support their teams as well. But, you know, on a more serious note, I think they're doing very well. I'm not expecting them to run away with the EWC trophy the very first time they've stepped back into the global stage, but it's more to prove to the rest of the world what India can do. And I think they're doing a very good job at that.
And Tash, one thing that we saw being able to do from that team was getting the booyahs.
Yeah.
And in regards to those top 4 squads, we ended up seeing they had to get those booyahs. I feel like that's going to transition into tomorrow for survival.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that one thing's for sure though, when you are going to be running this and you do make it to that top 4, that survival stage, for me personally, I think that having that one more day to play gives you momentum, gives you an edge in terms of trying to learn what exactly needs to be fixed and how you can fix it throughout the day. As you go into the grand finals, and granted that you do go into the grand finals, it does give you a little bit more of an edge for me personally compared to the teams that already just go straight on to that final day.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I think teams like Titan Esports Club, they are a little bit more grateful that we've added in more squads, right? They're a little bit more grateful that more regions are in here. So now they are kind of like the veterans in the competition. So they've survived this stage already, but to survive survival stage as a whole is going to be very tough because of the kind of teams that we have got going in there. We've also got Group B who are going to be playing in a little bit as well. Yeah, I mean, down at the bottom, the teams who are already struggling are not going to be obviously a very big, fight for them. But the teams that do make it in there, I think the survival stage is going to be a hell a lot more exciting than whatever we've seen in the past 2 days.
Yeah, on the broadcast, I think it was the other day, we watched this group and I've been saying that it's kind of like 2 lobbies in one group.
Yes.
We have ahead of the pack, the top of the lead, the AGLs, all sitting up there, and then everybody sort of fighting in your mid-range to the end, which is pretty tough for this lobby. Like, this lobby is exceptionally stacked. And, if we do sort of like swivel over and move over to our second lobby that will be coming up, you're talking about India, SAUL, they're sort of in that middle pack range as well. So it's going to be an absolute grand fight, I feel like, in the survival match. But one thing I want to pick your guys' brains on, if this is okay. Yesterday, Paradox's performance was actually exceptional.
Yeah.
They have now found their way right down to the bottom of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
I guess, I'll hit this with you. Was there any sort of inconsistencies that you saw being like watching this team throughout their style today?
No, not at all, right? Africa stepping onto a stage like this, they don't really have a lot of experience in the esports scene within their own country. They don't have a lot of powerful teams to go up against, to scrimmage against. So coming in here, it's all about learning. It's about the experience. It's about, traveling around Paris, just watching, exactly how the culture is like here, having some baguettes.
I mean, it's exceptional just to get here in the first place.
Absolutely correct.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's inspirational.
That's what you were
for the
saying
rest of
about
the team.
tag too. I mean, you feel like this is definitely a win for that squad. The experience that they're going to be getting is going to transition into later on with some of the other squads. And I think this is something that Neptune was touching about. And we even heard Conchita touching upon it too from EVOS. They did have one of the players that was just starting off. They started off slow, but they ended up bringing it back as well. Same with the other squads. Aurora, I know that's one squad you were just talking about earlier on. They were able to bring it up. It's been quite a bit of an inconsistent 2 days for Aurora.
Yeah, they were struggling on day number 1. Even today, I think one thing's for sure about them though, kind of like tag, right? You can see that they were making it up with these big hero plays, these big hero moments. You want to play catch up. It's good. But for me personally, consistency is key. You want to be able to go to that next map with at least 5 to 10 points just to keep yourselves ahead of the rest of the teams. That's for me personally.
Yeah, you are being too Asian mom with this right now. We have seen Aurora play for many years, and I think, 2 out of the 4 players on the main roster already have got the global stage experience, but they've been missing the past 2 years, right? Multiple roster shuffles, but now they are kind of getting it together. So this is one of their best performances that we've seen from them in the past 2 years. So based on that, they're doing hella well, right? I didn't expect them to walk away with an almost record-breaking game in the game number 5. Yeah, that in itself shows how good they have come.
Great momentum too, that they're going to be able to take that into survival. And that's the thing though, you can be consistent here when we're talking about groups just to make it to survival. But it is going to be a bit of a level up, a big level up when we end up moving to survival, because the top 4, that's all you get. After that, it's not just 2 teams that are going to be going home. It is going to be the rest of the teams that are going to be going home that are not in those top 4. So going into survival, I know, by the way, there's amazing people that have joined us, Tash Bunny, AJ, and Lace, especially you two. You guys are going to get a chance to cast that Group B. We'll get a chance to break down Group B with the other squad, but I want to just pick their brain. Who is somebody that you're going to be keeping a close eye on coming up in Group B?
Man, I am not keeping my eyes on anyone, right? That's the beauty about shoutcasting a battle royale. Anything goes, anything happens. Like from what we've seen already in Group A, teams that kind of didn't really do all that too well yesterday, even Titan Esports, they weren't having a fantastic run yesterday. Today is where they showed us what they're truly capable of, right? And that's exactly what I'm expecting to see. Teams who were not doing too great yesterday to step it up. Teams who are doing great, maybe, take a little bit of a pause, just like what Loud did, just like what Buriram did. Don't get too crazy with it.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I mean, I did dig a little bit with Carol about the Brazilian, scene, right?
Yeah.
And she was telling me, like, in the regular season for Brazil, one thing's for sure, the Fluxo was known as the
Boogeyman.
Yeah, the boogeyman, right?
Yeah.
They were the ones that goes for back-to-back booyahs coming forward. But now in this tournament, they are the ones that are just farming eliminations.
Yeah.
So they've changed up the way they play, and I agree with you. You really cannot tell what's gonna be happening, and I'm so excited to be part of this with you, AJ.
Likewise, Tash, right? And, speaking about Fluxo, I am not too worried about them at all. That's the team that we are definitely going to see at the Grand Finals. I'll be shocked if we don't see Fluxo in the Grand Finals.
I mean, let me give you my little opinion here on the end, guys, because I shouted it from the rooftops right at the top. We need to look at Team Secret, guys, okay? I have placed them as my underdog, all right? The view is here.
Underdog!
Yes, and if we saw from there, like, obviously, groups from yesterday, shaky start, but then they pulled out these Bazingers just to skyrocket up the leaderboard. So, I don't want to jinx them. I know we're all about jinxing, unfortunately, but this is going to be one team that needs to obviously make this happen.
Yeah.
And I'm going Team Secret.
I mean, this group has been just talking about when we went to Group A, it was pretty much Southeast Asia. Yeah. When we went to Group B, it was none other than Brazil. You can hear the crowd in the background. You can hear them getting hyped up. And for everybody currently watching at home, don't forget, support your local team. Get into Free Fire. Make sure you support your local team, whichever one it might be. You can be biased. It's okay. We try not to be biased here, but sometimes it ends up happening. We'll be getting ready for Group B, but we do have an amazing video with Mia.
Yo estaba en el trabajo y ya cuando estaba bajando caminando hacia la casa,
ocurrió los temblores. Ya cuando nos frenamos y esperamos que pasara los movimientos para poder pasar, porque yo iba a pasar por un túnel. Entonces, cuando pasó, logré bajar a casa y estaba buscando a mi mamá. Ya cuando la encontré, se encontraba llorando, y cuando pasamos al apartamento, le encontramos los bloques, estaban partidos, tenían... ya va. De ahí salimos del apartamento porque no era habitable. Ya.
It's a producer live on TikTok, a donation to be able to play our tournaments. We did 5 on Friday, 5 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday, every day for a whole week. The tournament I named it as Manos Unidas, which means United Hands, which also contributes back to, our logo, which is a logo of a picture of my hands. So Manos Unidas just came naturally. United Hands as a community, we come together to try to help our Venezuelan friends. And we had a lot of turnover. We had a lot of people wanting to join it and contributing more than, the normal. When we come back to our homes this coming week, we're going to have bigger tournaments that are going to last for about a week. That's going to be our goal now, to continue raising funds. For them, this is a dream come true. Coming from the whole tragic of the earthquake, it's just makes them stronger, makes them believe more that this is meant for them, and they're gonna they're going to do a great job. I trust a lot in our team, and I know that they're going to try their best to take something back to their country.
Pues que todo es un sacrificio, que sigan su sueño y así, que nosotros pues aquí vamos a demostrar y así.
That has been able to overcome adversity that happen. But at this point, I mean, they're just trying to reach the pinnacle of Free Fire at EWC 26 and trying to find a way to get into survival, trying to find a way if they can maybe make it to find. Quite honest, it is going to be a hard road once again because this squad is starting not in the best positions for day 2 of Group B.
Yeah, it is definitely a hard climb for Mia Corp, but hearing what they have to go through, it is such a miracle for them to be here with us today. And of course, it's for them, it is also a milestone and something that they can forever be proud of. So yeah, this is just one of those stories that gets you thinking of how grateful and how easy you have it in life compared to others.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is I personally saw their qualifiers into EWC. I was shoutcasting their games, and this is a team that really surprised everyone. We really didn't expect them to get in that champion rush condition, and I'm like, the story that they have, they fight through it, they manage to just go with what is needed for them, and they didn't have that much of booyah even from the group stage. It's only grand final, so it's just the effort that they put in to get here that is what we are looking forward to.
Yeah, you can just see how much it means to these people. You know, they're going through all this sort of, you know, we talk about the mentality of performing on a stage like this, but also, you know, you got to add the pressures of what's going on at home and everything around you. So just to be able to, you know, we were saying before to the other guys, just to make it to Esports World Cup is a fantastic feat in itself, of course. But look, the battle's not over yet, Seven.
It's not, definitely not.
Yeah, the battle's definitely not over yet. 33 points they're truly having to overcome to make it to the top 4. But as we saw in Group A, that's going to keep moving along the day. They just have to make sure they are consistent. And don't forget, those booyahs have to start coming because we saw from Group A, everybody that was at the top, they needed to get some booyahs. A squad that was able to get the booyahs yesterday was none other than, remind me again who it was, because it was a team from Brazil, Neptune.
Yes, MIVR lost. And we're really looking forward to how they are going to continue this, because from what we've seen, especially comparison of Group A, Group B, we've already talked about like how Group A is a group of death. There's a lot of teams who might be able to go and get those booyah against Birmingham United. And this time around, I think MIVR loss will have an opportunity to continue their reign, because even from yesterday, once we switch it up to Group B, it was a slow game overall.
It really was. It really was, Lace. I mean, we felt like the pace definitely slowed down in regards to what we were seeing in comparison to Group A.
Yeah, I mean, even if we look at like the leaderboard at the end of the day, it was super close compared to our first lobby. So they can interchange and obviously work their way up to be secured in that top 4 position. But what I want to do, Seven, okay, is I want to give you a reason. All right, you saw me before saying Team Secret.
Oh!
And I want to tell you why.
Why?
Okay? I want to tell me why. Okay, so I want to tell you why. Sitting in 6, you know, I'm always going to look at sort of that middle pack just under top 4. This team in 2025 was an entire brand new roster, right? Talk about storylines. They were not doing well, okay? It was an incredibly rough start, and this generally can happen with like an interchangeable roster here. But on Free Fire Worlds in Southeast Asia, they won 4 games back to back.
Damn.
Okay, so this team hits can actually put in work for this. Now, in relation to our actually sort of levels of AGAL, and if we saw how incredible they actually beat them in their series. So I'm expecting massive things from Team Secret.
Okay.
I've got the stats to back it up, baby, okay?
All right, hit me with
And
the-
there's about to be a power shift, baby. Team Secret underdog. Watch this space.
So you have them finishing in top 4 directly to finals.
I think they will just hit that top 4 mark, yes.
Okay.
Exactly what I talked. Secret won the FFW Spring 2026 with a consecutive booyah, and that was amazing. But of course, speaking of rivalry, my eyes are drawn straight to Fluxo and Twisted Minds because they have the same amount of points, 90, and the same amount of elimination points, 55. Also, we still have Leon or Lion or whatever you pronounce it.
However you want to say it.
However you want to say it. Because this is actually one of the strongest team that did not perform well on the first day. I mean, just look at it. 7th with 72 total points, and this is not the Leon or the Lion that we knew, especially with all the great players they have. One of them is Games King, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. Games King will be able to bring the fire to Leon, but I'm looking at another team. We've seen how well Team Apex did in Group A. Now, another team.
This is the blessing, by the way. This is the blessing.
This is blessing.
Preface.
Right.
You're about to be blessed by none other than Neptune.
Yeah. Total Gaming. Let's see. Total Gaming. They might be able to catch up. I mean, overtake Leon, overtake Team Secret, overtake RRQ.
No, stop. We're blessing, remember? We're blessing.
He's blessing all those teams as well.
Blessing all those teams.
One team that you were able to actually bless yesterday, Conchita, was RRQ, and it worked out perfectly how you mentioned it. Starting slow, maybe some jitters of day one, but they were able to turn that around.
I do believe that the true challenge lies today, because when we talk about RRQ, obviously the well-known fact is that second day chokehold, second day jitters, and the pressure that sometimes they just cannot handle yet. This is the true test for RRQ, especially for Duts as the captain. This is where he should be performing well. He should be calling all the right calls. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to see 88 points sitting at the 5th position with 63 elimination points and 1 booyah. It's looking quite promising, but if I'm talking about the Indonesian team, of course, I am super proud once again to see how Vitality has been performing and has been doing so good in this group, Neptune.
I want to say Vitality.
Vitality with that voice, right?
Yeah. The new strategy ended up working out for that squad, and hopefully will continue today, right? Because remind everybody that might have not been here yesterday, it's okay, we'll let it slide now that you're here with us. What was the new strat?
Yeah, my strategy of going for double snipes. We've seen that from Southeast Asia. We thought that they are going to let go of that because even Brim United, we're seeing them trying to do the same thing. But out of that, they just capitalize on it. They can easily switch up to, especially for those who are just adjusting the sniper, they can easily switch up to sniper, mid guy, or frontliner. So that's what I'm loving about Team Vitality right now.
Yep.
And again, going back to Chris Joe, like the mindset of the coach, it's just so much of things that we might expect from Team Vitality.
And they might be able to start hot right away instead of what we were able to see yesterday. One team that's looking to get some booyahs is Fluxo, because their fans are behind us. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I see, is that Barney and Carol? What are you guys doing here?
Oh, here we go. We are here with the Fluxo W7M. Incredible fans. It really is amazing. Oh, Sal Cinelli joining me here. Tell us about traveling here with these guys and, you know, what this team means to you in this competition.
My family, I can explain how important Fluxo is for me. It's really amazing to be here because it's my first time traveling abroad, and with the organization, it's like living a dream, and it's so perfect. I love it.
We can't hear you, unfortunately, so I'm going to pass this. I'm going to use this. Talk to me again about this being the first time that you've traveled outside of the country and what it's like to travel with all of these guys to support your favorite team.
Yeah, it's abroad, and I truly love. It's like we are really family. I love Fluxo. Fluxo is my family, and make me start doing live stream just because of the organization. So all that I am is because Fluxo. Saltinella exists because of the Fluxo. So it's awesome to be here, and I know that everyone has the same feeling.
I love that. I'm going to take this mic back off you because we've got to learn some of these chants because they're absolutely incredible. Go on, let's go, Carol.
Definitely. Amoroso. Okay, so yesterday we talked a lot about your travel here. It's probably the first time of most people here getting out of Brazil. And you guys share with me incredible stories. But I want to know if you guys have prepared any kind of song for this moment here.
Cara, preparamos algo muito da hora para EWC para aproveitar bastante esse evento. Trouxemos várias bandeiras, inclusive uma música nova. Então, eu quero impressionar vocês.
Okay, so basically they have prepared a special song for this moment. They create a special song for EWC, and even they bought a huge flag. So they are gonna show us the flag and teach us the new song. Come on, guys, I'm with you. Let's go.
Ei, Spotify, puxa aí, tô aqui na EWC, que é a música da EWC, puxa aí. Bora.
EWC song, let's go.
Vai. Puxa aí, puxa aí.
Oh, I love this. Oh, this is good.
E o meu fluxo vai vencer. E o meu fluxo vai vencer. MT vai deitar. MT vai deitar. O Curtizinho vai ruxar. O Curtizinho vai ruxar. Chama aí o Luquingue. Chama aí o Luquingue. Chama aí o Luquingue. Chama aí o Luquingue. O Gil é muito bom. O Gil é muito bom. Pops vem pra ser campeão. Pops vem pra ser campeão. Rocks completa a seleção. Rocks completa a seleção. Chama aí o Bentinho! Chama aí o Bentinho! Chama aí o Bentinho! O Fluxo vai ser campeão! O Fluxo vai ser campeão!
Fluxo absolutely popping up on the main stage, and we love it. For now, we're going to head back over to the studio, and we're going to head down to the main stage to kickstart the second part of Group B, Day 2. There we go.
Oh yeah! Let's go, Fluxo! Oh, I got distracted. We're back on us. Okay, Fluxo. I see you with the energy right there. Let's go. Let's go, Lace. This is a squad that, as mentioned earlier, they're going to be looking to get their first booyahs. And it was none other than their Brazilian brothers actually stopping them from getting those booyahs, Neptune.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, well, it has been said already. Despite of not getting booyahs, they're still taking the top of course. So it really doesn't matter at this moment. As long as they can get to the top 4, then it's okay. No booyah, no problem for the moment.
No, I want to see some booyahs out of them. Imagine how if they're crazy right now, if they're being loud right now, the Fluxo crowd, Conchita, it's gonna go crazy.
I know, but that's exactly what I'm waiting for, actually, Seven, because we have Buriram and AGAL in Group A, but we also have Lost and Fluxo in Group A, and that's gonna be interesting.
All right, well, it's time for Group B, Free Fire at EWC 26. Let's get started. 6 more games to go.
And half of our players now know their fate, while the other half is ready now on this Guiria City Ride.
That is right. 2 teams have now been eliminated from the competition, so the tension just got a little bit thicker because the consequences just became real.
Indeed, Barney, there is no room for error anymore. With only 6 games left, it's crucial to hit the ground running Day 2s now.
Look, expect insane plays, expect heartbreaks, but above all, expect absolute chaos. And so, with that being said, it's time to introduce your next 12 teams to the main stage to fight for survival, starting with the Mia Corp.
Ali Esports.
Team RRQ.
Twisted Minds.
Team Secret.
Fluxo W7 Aim.
Total Gaming Esports IQ. Straw Hats. Lion. Emmy Bear Loss. S8UL Esports. And finally, Team Vitality. Here we are, our Group B is ready. Anything can still happen, and no one is really safe. We've got $1 million on the line, the survival stage around the corner, and our grand finals reserved for just the most elite teams. And so with that being said, it's time to close out the group stage of Free Fire at the Esports World Cup. Four of the most dominant teams in the world will step onto the Garena City grid for the first time today. Teams who swept through their regions and left their opponents in the dust. But now they stand at the base of a mountain faced with an almost impossible climb. Well, let me take this opportunity to remind you that this is your chance to instill the fear of combat into your opponents. Don't hold back, don't hesitate, and trust in your teammates.
Comes through, and Loud, all they have to do is just rush forward, and they're completely surrounded from every single angle. And Loud, once again, a booyah!
MIB are lost, they turn it around, and Bobs is the last one standing. It's going to be very difficult, but also Bobs struggling along with the help of MIB are lost, and it's going to be MIB are lost getting the very first booyah of Group B. Looking for the final player, Kororo, looking for that recovery, and they will be denied as Buriram pulls away the third booyah of the day to take the #1 spot on the leaderboard. And Lion are losing players one after another, and as that happens, even Dix gets eliminated, and Games King was the last man standing. And it is going to be MIB lost getting the final booyah of Group B's Day 1. Our eyes on the teams who are in the top 4 slots as well as the bottom 2. Today is the chance for early qualifiers. Today is an unfortunate moment of heartbreak for 2 teams who will get to go on a little bit of a holiday here in Paris before they fly back home. But who is it going to be? Miacorp, Straw Hats down at the bottom, and SHUL a little bit too dangerously close to them.
Yeah, because today is anyone's game.
Oh, yeah.
Game 1, or at least Group A, was a story where any team could still make it big and survive. And I'm wondering if Group B will tell us the same story. Yesterday, loss went huge. 3 booyahs, ending the day strong. And I'm pretty sure that every other team in this group as well want to replicate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, it is a situation where MIBR lost, wanted to control the situation, but also wanted to find out exactly what they can do in a lobby like this. They've already proven themselves yesterday. I'm expecting them to have a little bit of a slower day today. I'm expecting the teams who are down in the mid part of the battle instead to really show us exactly what they've got. Obviously, it's the fight to squeeze themselves into the top 4. Even if MIBR kind of sleeps on giving us average games back to back, I don't think they're going to be...
It's going to be stressful.
Absolutely, because we have got the best of the best from around the world. We've only got the 4 slots. I guess a little bit of a blessing as you take these Super Titans out of the race. Now you get to go up against teams
the very bottom, so no easy picking. I think it's going to be ruthless. It is going to be very challenging for the teams to maintain consistency when we get into the survival stage. But of course, beyond all of that, if any teams do manage to show us a constant streak throughout those 10 games, I mean, color me surprised for sure, but I'm looking forward to a situation like that. What's going to be the fate of the Indian teams? Now, we saw the support for Shoto. He's got his family members here, but for the rest of the Indian squads, I hope they are not going to be depending on the support, but they're going to be depending on all that they have conversed, all that they have prepared for before reaching this stage, because there's still a lot to prove, and more importantly, you got to save yourselves from Miracorp as well as Straw Hats, who are sure as hell going to be looking to climb up the leaderboard today.
Yeah, and I think what's really important is feel of everything. You have an idea, you learn from your mistakes. Today to really fix up your mistakes, whether your drops, figuring out which teams you'd rather head with, and that is why it's really scary today. Definitely, I think the heat is up. Everyone's playing a little bit more faster compared to cautious compared to yesterday, at least from Group A. That was surprises in Group A.
Absolutely, Fluxo, of them going all out. Right, because at the end of the day, this is a team that usually flies under the radar, and when it's definitely needed at the finals, that's exactly when they show you what they're truly capable of. That being said, though, years back, they haven't been able to grab that trophy. Not only were they not able to grab the trophy, they were nowhere away with the trophy here at the Esports World Cup for Free Fire. So perhaps they want to change their tactic up a tad bit this time round. They're currently sitting in the 3rd spot, not too far away from MIBR loss. I feel like one game can allow them to think to happen today as well.
Yeah, because yesterday they were on a streak. They were taking advantage of what is was very high risk. It worked out. But what's Brazil, right? And how they were the boom. They were always back. They had strats from yesterday till today, but that is why things get really interesting, because definitely all eyes are on this top 2. I'm sure no way in hell do they want to go into survival stage when they have the capability of making it into the top 2.
Yeah, and shout out to Chris Joe as well. Vitality has been whooping some butt out there on the battlefield. Who would have expected Vitality to do even better than their Brick Brothers RRQ, who yesterday did manage to walk away with 1 booyah to their name, but not in the top 4 just yet. Vitality, on the other hand, are doing better than Fluxo as well as Twisted Minds. This is a big factor. I feel like they definitely need the confidence boost. Seeing Vitality make that early access into the grand finals is definitely going to be fantastic for them. We've got the RRQ fans out here versus the Fluxo fans as well.
Yeah.
Who can be louder? Who will have these smiles on their faces by the end of these 6 games?
And also, most importantly, who will be silenced by the end of the day as well? I'm really curious to see who it's going to be. But we all know who's the loudest of RRQ. Conchita in the backstage. She was screaming for them.
I highly doubt Conchita only screams for RRQ. That woman is unbiased. She wants to scream for everyone, but she sees the potential in the kingdom of RRQ. But I have to tell you, the Fluxo fans are a tad bit more lively, right? I want to see that exact same energy from the opposite end as well. RRQ, y'all need to stand up. Y'all need to make some noise, baby.
Y'all need to yell, that's for sure. Give your energy to your favorite team as we go into this game. Oh, they're starting to dance here. There we go. That's the energy.
More energy, RRQ. More energy.
Yeah, I want to hear them sing. I mean, we hear a lot of the Fluxo chants, right? Yeah, so I need to hear them start singing, start yelling, because they do have a chant, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're eventually going to hear it. And I hope they continuously cheer their team on, because the kingdom of RRQ just tend to get disappointed a tad bit too early sometimes. And I know RRQ is not really looking to go wild out there on the battlefield today, but it would be nice to have that early access into the grand finals. But knowing the team, knowing how they play, and how they do love getting some extra experience out there, seeing exactly how well the rest of the teams can do, I think RRQ might be taking it a tad bit slower this time around as well. You also have to look at the teams who are trying to maintain the top 4 spots, right? Twisted Minds, Fluxo, MIBR Lots. These 3 teams are going to be very difficult to knock off of that perch. the closest ones that RRQ understands in terms of rotation, in terms of their play style, is going to be Vitality. So maybe some infighting. Maybe we're going to find a little bit of a battle between the two Indonesian squads out there.
Yeah, Conchita said that's a term for that in Bahasa Indonesia. Perang serumpun, she says.
All right.
Yeah, so that is something that I wouldn't be surprised to see as well. I do agree with you. The rotation is going to be happening. They can go for that as well. And I also really am excited to see if any of the bottom teams could actually just really surprise us as well. I think Total Gaming Esports as well didn't really have the best of days yesterday. Maybe a reset today would be something. I mean, you talked about how this is the first year that India has made it into the big stage as well, right? You want to get
back after a long time,
Yeah, after a long time. Now, you know, you want to get experience. You want to really get into the groove of things. It's so different playing from the Indian stage to a global stage with so many different play styles out there in the open, and they've definitely learned something from yesterday.
Tough lessons were learned yesterday for sure. I think IQ Total Gaming, SHUL Esports, they have a very heavy burden on their shoulders, because if you look at the size of the fan base in India, expecting them to perform, it's absolutely stressing, right? You know, some of the other teams who don't really have a huge support back at home, they've got nothing to lose. They've got nothing to worry about. Not many people judging them out there. Every mistake that the Indian teams make, on the other hand, you're going to see some harsh comments on YouTube. You're going to see some harsh posts later on. So they need to avoid that. But of course, they need to play for themselves. This is something that they've been working for the past few years. And this is where you really have to go all out. Everything's on the table. But even if they do not do that, I am not going to be tickled by it at all. As long as they avoid the bottom two spots. Because I do want to see more from the Indian squads. So having them at the survival stage, I think I'm going to be quite happy about it.
Yeah, I think I'm also very excited to see this as well as we go into this later. I think one thing's for sure though, when you talk about so many of these teams, compared to say Group A, which means I would say a cutthroat group, Group B I think is something a little bit more anyone can be making anything happen, right? So that is where we really have to be paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely right. If you look at whether or not Group A truly was cutthroat, yeah, you've got so many Titans in there, you see a lot of eliminations, but because you don't have as many Titans in here in Group B, you're back to an even playing field. So it's not any easier in Group B at the moment for survival. You're still going up against world-class squads out here. But of course, this is game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as we hop on into Bermuda. The flight path is going to be dictating quite a number of things, and the first one's going to be who's out of the flight first. It's MRBR Lost, RRQ, as well as Team Secret. And Team Secret's another team that we definitely have to talk about. This team, the current kings of Southeast Asia, and some may argue Southeast Asia might just be one of the toughest lobbies out there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, you know, when we talked about that as well, I think a lot of our fingers were pointed toward that Group A, right? We saw what happened from Buram United. It was really scary seeing them on that day 1 as well. But at the same time, in this lobby, you know, Southeast Asia, and we're meeting up against, I would say, one of the hard hitters, which is going to be Brazil as well. And again, when you look at the group stage leaders, Lost really put a big lead between themselves and the rest of the pack as well. Yeah, it's going to be easy to catch up. I mean, coming into a few matches more today, if they can maintain that consistency, or many other teams can do so. But right now, undeniably, at least for day 1, Southeast Asia is at the top.
I mean, Southeast Asia being at the top, in for the revival. But it looks like Vitality wants a big fight. The launchpad is going to be putting them in the best spot to knock down Simong. Sifu, barely any health left on him. He's going in with the medkit, double Riptide Rhythm, breaks down his defenses though. Exposing takes is just a tad bit too big himself up. Vitality versus RR. Infighting. What was that? Serumpun you said earlier?
Perang serumpun.
Perang serumpun. That's exactly what we're having out here between the two brothers.
Yeah, and now Dudes on the very top side here, putting in the damage from above, and Joel will be the... No, it's not, because Dix is there to make sure his teammate remains alive. Rans also falls, and Abai falls to reposition, finding a different way to bring his team back into the game.
Oh, looks like this little battle between RRQ and Vitality might have to take a pause here as Straw Hats drops by to say hello. This is the survival battle for Straw Hats. Can they overwhelm RRQ, who are already hurt, already injured? They just need to take 2 players out of the equation, but that is easier said than done. Vitality's not abandoning the compound just yet. Straw Hats picking each other right back up, and they're sticking together. They do have a chance in here if they can continue with this level of aggression.
This is exciting already. We already saw or anticipated what was going to be happening early. Now, Vitality waiting in the wings, hoping to see who shows their hand first. Straw Hats waiting. Who will be the one to show his first shot here? Dix takes a bit of jig damage, but never more than that. And for the rest of the team, Vitality, at least for Dix, he's gonna be completely crunched from multiple angles here. What are you gonna do when this collapse happens?
Yeah, information